speculation, news, the CEO did this, etc. Right? Coronavirus happens, all of a sudden there's this dip. Okay, so I actually have physical assets that are at the back of my actual wealth, and so this is why I want to share with you this particular recession-proof asset, which I'm going to show you why that is so in just a second. My properties have appreciated by over 19%. So when you think about 19% appreciation on a $4 million portfolio, that's some pretty good money, right? That's almost another $800,000 that my properties have appreciated because I control those assets. I'm founder of the Freedom School, where I teach, and then the multifamily movement, where I help as many people as possible get into multifamily real estate. I do want you to know that I'm not a licensed real estate agent, and you do not have to be one either in order to get into multifamily real estate. A lot of people think that you need a real estate license to invest. You do not. Okay. In fact, a real estate agent thinks about real estate a lot differently than a real estate investor. There's some overlap, but the mindset of a real estate investor is way far beyond a real estate agent. Okay. Now, real quick question. How many of you been on some boring webinars before? How many of you been on some boring webinars? Let's get some engagement out here in chat and on YouTube. Been on some boring webinars? You just wanted to sign off? Well, this one's going to be fun, engaging. It's going to be hard hitting, and we're going to laugh together. We're going on an emotional roller coaster. So how about we just kick this off with a poem, right? I understand multifamily real estate so well that I can actually put the language of this industry into rhyme for you, because how do we learn? How do we learn as kids? We learn through song and we learn through rhyme. And so I actually put together a poem for you that I want to kick off this webinar with. And as I share this poem with you, you may not understand every single line. Every single line has power in it. Every single line has financial principles baked into it. Okay, but you may not understand it at this moment in time on your journey, but hopefully as you continue to listen to the Black Business School, Dr. Watkins, myself, and others, you'll actually be able to grasp everything that we say. Okay, so here it is, the multifamily poem. Why don't we hack houses like frat houses where everyone living good for just a few thousand? Some will say it's lousy while they slaving proudly, spending 1/3 of their revenue to pay for housing. Living on your own, but you don't own ish. Can't even get a loan. Student debt is thinking a high wage is the way to get rich. Not if your cost of living rise directly with it. Trying to keep up with the Joneses, deep in debt to you croak. I'm gonna live just like the Jeffersons, pretend that I'm broke. Then I'll buy a multifamily, let the rents pay the note. Perhaps you could be my tenant. Yo, that would be dope. I keep my cost of living low along with my blood pressure. Because if you always stressing, it's hard to enjoy pleasure. The man with the most is not the one who wins the race. It's the man with his soul who could look at his own face. 40 acres and a mule is what they taught us in school. I'd rather have 40 apartments and a big money pool. Leverage credit to capital and capital to cash flow. Cash is not king because the interest too low. Some call me a do-gooder. I got good deeds in my name. As the Lord of my land, I'll never be a slave. You can dabble in stocks, lose your shirt and your socks, but the demand for housing will never, ever stop. Assets, assets, assets. Passive, passive, passive. These are the two keys to amass wealth quick. But quick is really relative. It's a long-term game. Who you hustling for, your first or your last name. All right. So that is the multifamily poem. And there are lines in here that you probably don't comprehend at this moment on your journey. Like cash is not king. You've been told cash is king forever, right? But you realize that cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world. Cash is the lowest yielding asset in the entire world, yet that's what you've been chasing. You know, your money, cash, it's actually 70% cotton. So y'all are still out here picking cotton on a weekly basis. Yep. It's called modern day slavery. And slavery ain't gone nowhere. It's just adapted. It's just adapted. And now you have your money in a bank account, Bank of America bank account, but earning 0.03% interest. You know how long it'll take you to double your money in a Bank of America bank account at 0.03% interest? You take 72 divided by 0.03. It will take you 2,400 years to double your money sitting in a savings account. 2,400 years. Okay. So we're showing you and introducing you to an asset that you can acquire and have in your family, not only an asset that it was going to flip your money, but an asset that you could actually live in. You can't live in a stock. You can have Nike stock, but you can't live in it, and they're not giving you no free shoes, right? So this is what we're talking about, and this is what we're going to share with you tonight. Okay. Now I'm going to be very transparent. I want to give you the game. So make sure you have a pen and paper out. I'm going to give you enough meat to chew on that you can actually go take action as a result of this webinar. And in terms of transparency, this is my actual portfolio. So I'm not just going to say that I own 10 multifamily homes. I'm actually going to show you the properties that I own, and this is them. The first property I bought, it was in Brooklyn, New York in 2013. And the moment I went from renter to buyer of this particular property, since that moment, I have not made a mortgage payment or I've paid a housing expense over the past 6 years. I've not made a mortgage payment or paid a housing payment because the rents from the other units, they actually pay all of that. I have not had to come out of my own pocket for any housing expense for the past 6 years. Okay. That's the power. This is that moment you get that first property. That's where the wealth, you start changing the trajectory of your family, your life, as a result of that single decision. Okay. So I wanted to buy more property in Brooklyn, but the prices had risen and the average home there was $1 million. So when you're investing in your second property, not your first property you can get for 3.5% down. I'm going to share with you how. Okay. But your second property is 25% down. So 25% down on 250 on $1 million is $250,000. $250,000. It was going to take me a long time to save that up. So I realized that it was going to be hard for me to become a real estate investor in Brooklyn, New York. So I started looking elsewhere. And then a lot of you are in some tough markets. And I want you to know that your money does not have to work in the same city as you. Okay, I'm going to repeat that. Your money does not have to work in the same city as you do. So from Brooklyn, I invested in Oakland, California, and I invested in New Orleans. In fact, the home that you see here in New Orleans is where I'm at right now. Okay, I was willing to uproot myself in order to go be in another market where I could build generational wealth, because it wasn't going to happen in New York. Some of you are so attached to certain cities and what's happening there. And those cities, literally those cities, and the cost of living there is keeping you in bondage. And some of you are in cities that staying with the skill set that you have now and how much you earn now, some of you will never own in those cities. And so this is why we have to get off the train and start making new decisions. Okay. So I bought this home in Oakland. Now I was on the West Coast, East Coast, and Gulf Coast, and my identity changed. You know, the two most powerful words in the English language are I am. And you see this in the Bible. For those of you who are Christian, I am. And anything that you say after that, it typically manifests. And so at this moment in time, after acquiring these 3 properties, I didn't just want to say I'm a home buyer. I know all of you can buy a home. Over the course of your lifetime, you better be able to buy a home, right? What I changed my identity to is that I am a real estate investor. I am a real estate investor. In fact, in chat, everybody type that in, because that's the mindset that I'm going to teach you tonight, is how to think like a real estate investor. I don't want you to just be a home buyer. Anybody can do that over the course of a lifetime. What we want you to be is a real estate investor. So please type that in chat. I am a real estate investor. I am a real estate investor. Okay, this is what we're training you to do. They look at the world differently. They look at properties differently. They look at communities differently. They look at cities differently. They look at neighborhoods differently. Okay, so this is what we're training you to do. So as you can see, once I embrace that identity, once you change your being, your doing will change, and then your having will change. But if you never change the being, right, then none of that other stuff changes. What does the Bible say? Be ye transformed by the renewing of your what? Of your mind. Right? You change your mind, you change your being, you change your doing, and you change your having. Okay. So as you can see, the moment I accepted this identity, what happened for me? My real estate portfolio exploded. Or last year alone, I bought 7 properties with 25 doors last year alone. Okay. So today I have 32 doors, 13.8 cash on cash return, which is again 3 times what you're earning in the stock market on average if you invested in the S&P 500, 19.5% appreciation, $36,000. $36,000 I think is minimum wage here in the United States. I get that in recurring revenue every single month. Most people dread the first of the month. I get excited. I jump out of bed excited on the first of the month. This is what I want for you. Okay. And my portfolio is worth $3.9 million, and it's only going to become more valuable over time. Okay. So, you know, our leaders have been telling us this forever. Okay. This is Farrakhan. He said, we have to have land. Start buying up your community. And then you've all heard King's I Have a Dream speech, right? Which is this ethereal speech that doesn't really give you any blueprint to take action. But nobody heard his I Have a Plan speech. In his I Have a Plan speech, he was actually saying that we need land. Okay, the federal government was giving subsidies to poor white farmers in the middle of the country, but at the same time, when we were asking for our 40 acres and a mule, they wouldn't give it to us, right? Because they knew that if we had land, if we had property ownership, that our whole condition in this country would actually change. Okay, so even King came around eventually. Okay, now we don't just need land. Okay, 40 acres and a mule. I don't want 40 acres and a mule. Why? Because I don't know how to till the land. Some of y'all got plants at home, right? And you can't even take care of the plants. Some of y'all got goldfish that your kids brought home from the school fair, and the goldfish didn't last a week. So we're not going to do too well if all we do is get land, okay? We're not going to do too well. We've been so detached from nature and our true element as people of African descent. We're not going to do too well if they just give us 40 acres and a mule, okay? So we need more than that, okay? So today I'm going to show you the above ground railroad. As I said earlier, Harriet Tubman, she was a leader on the underground railroad, but the above ground railroad is real estate. Real estate is above ground. It's visible, and it's actually been so obvious. It's been in our sight. We drive past it, we live in it, we work in it. We are always in real estate. All of you, unless you're outside, are in real estate right now. And even if you are outside, you're standing on somebody's real estate, okay? So real estate is the above ground railroad. It is the path to freedom. On the Underground Railroad, they had safe houses and certain people who were strategically positioned to help you get across the Mason-Dixon line. Well, multifamily real estate is the new safe house. And it's instructors like myself who are the strategic people that will help you cross the modern day Mason-Dixon line for yourself. Okay, so multifamily real estate is the new above ground railroad. All right. Now, when I talk about rent and mortgage freedom, remember I told you the moment I bought that 3-family home in Brooklyn, I never have paid a housing expense since. I'm talking about rent, mortgage, property taxes, insurance, utilities. I haven't had to pay any of that because the rents cover all of that. None of that has directly come out of my pocket. And so rent and mortgage freedom is the result of buying multifamily real estate, which has cash flow that eliminates your housing expense forever. I'm going to repeat that. Forever. Literally, this one single decision to buy a piece of multifamily real estate will change the trajectory of your life. Right now, for most of you, your rent expense takes up 1/3 of your paycheck. And over time, as rents increase, it's actually going to move to half. And there'll be absolutely nothing that you can do about it. Because why? You're going to need housing. And you're going to do whatever it takes to make sure your family has a roof over their head. But guess who's going to benefit from all of that? People who actually own the real estate. So with this one single decision that we're teaching you to make and how to do it in the right way, you can literally achieve rent and mortgage freedom. And that would free up so much for you financially, mentally, spiritually, etc. In fact, what would happen in chat? Please let me know what would happen in your life. What would change in your life if you achieve rent and mortgage freedom? What would happen if you never had to pay a housing expense for the rest of your life? What would that do for you? Please let me know in chat. Christian would retire. Peace of mind. Set me free. Stress free. Travel. More time with family. No more commuting. More investing. Security. Build my family legacy. Freedom. So this is what we're really talking about. All these tools, whether it's Doc teaching you about the stock market, whether it's me teaching you about multifamily real estate, all of these tools, all these pathways in the Black Business School are literally to get you to have these things. More time with your family, travel, freedom, the ability to start your company, to walk in your purpose, to do the work that you were created to do, to invest more, to retire. This is what we are setting you up for, okay? You want these things, but there's a thing that you have to do in between that's the bridge that's going to get you there. And that's what the entire Black Business School is about. And that's what this particular program tonight is really all about, okay? So when we talk about multifamily real estate, what we're talking about is duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. We're not talking about the big apartment complexes that you see. Some of you might live in them right now. We're not talking about that yet. That's commercial real estate, and that's going to be coming up soon, okay? Right now, we're talking about duplexes, triplexes, and fourplexes. There's only 2.6 million of them in the entire United States, and they only make up 18% of the entire rental supply. So they're a very small portion of the actual entire rental supply. But the beautiful thing about a duplex, triplex, or fourplex is that the same financing process that you would use to go get a single family home is the same process that you would use to get a duplex, triplex, or fourplex. Same paperwork, same documentation, same type of bank. Okay. Once you get to 5 units, that becomes a commercial property, and that's a different kind of loan with different kind of criteria. So if you buy a triplex or a fourplex in the right way, you can typically get to rent and mortgage freedom. If you follow the framework and philosophy that I'm sharing with you today, you can typically get to rent and mortgage freedom with one single purchase, with your first purchase. And this is what we're teaching you to do tonight. Okay. Now, a lot of talk is out there about a recession is coming. And you want to know why I'm not worried, yo? Because in a recession, I make more money. I make more money in a recession. You see these gray bars here? These are the last recessions that we had in 2000 and 2008 and 9. This blue line is rents. And what you'll see is that in the midst of a recession, what happens to rents, y'all? Rents increase. Now that hurts anybody who's renting, but if you own the property, it's better for you. And here's why rents increase. People who bought a single family home that was a little too big for their budget, now money gets tight, one person loses their job, and guess what? They get foreclosed on. When they get foreclosed on, guess what? They become renters. So now there's more renters. And all the people who are renting, who are about to buy in 2008 or 9 or in 2000, what do? They get fearful and they hold on to their money and they don't go and buy a home. So now you have more renters, but the rental supply hasn't changed. And so demand has gone up. And what happens when demand goes up but supply doesn't change? The price goes up. So rents actually increase in the midst of recession. Look at the trend line of rents over time. It's just going to keep going up and up and up and up. And this is good for me. It's bad for people who are on the other side of that equation. Okay. So one big issue that people have when it comes to multifamily real estate, one of the home ownership hurdles is, can I actually afford it? Right. And I want you to know that a lot of people think that they can't afford it. And here's what happens. When you tell your mind you can't, okay, I can't, what you do is you actually turn off the subconscious mind from working on your behalf. You realize that when you go to sleep tonight, your subconscious mind is actually working on your behalf. It is a 24/7 processor. How do you think you breathe in the middle of the night? You're not consciously thinking about it. Something is governing that. That is your subconscious mind, and it's more powerful than your conscious mind, okay? But when you say, I can't, you actually turn off the subconscious mind. So many of you have cut yourself out of the game. You didn't even show up to the tryout because you didn't believe that you could afford multifamily real estate. And I'm going to show you that you actually can, okay? So the question needs to become, how can I afford it, okay? And one of the big issues is the down payment. Then people are like, can I actually make the monthly payment? Because you told yourself you can't, you actually missed out on amazing programs out there that require no down payment, no closing costs, no points or fees, no credit score consideration. I literally know of programs like that, okay? So you have to understand that your intellectual property or your lack thereof, your lack of intellectual property is the reason you lack physical property. Your lack of knowing is the reason you lack ownership at this moment in time. That's the only gap. That's the only gap. There are people who are in worse financial condition than some of you who own because they know. It's that simple. You just don't know something. And so we're here to show you those things. Okay. Now, a lot of people think you need a lot of money to get into real estate or multifamily real estate. And I told you I was going to be transparent tonight. The reason I had to black this out because this is my actual W-2 from 2012. You can see I only made $36,000. My company was just starting out around that time, and I wasn't making a lot of money. But when did I buy my home in Brooklyn? In 2013. So this was the W-2 that they used to qualify me for the loan that I got for that home in 2013, in May of 2013. So I got started in multifamily real estate when I wasn't making a lot of money, basically minimum wage, when I was in New York City, the most expensive market in the world, while I was an entrepreneur and within 3 years of a recession. Okay. So for those of you who are like, oh, I don't make enough money to get into real estate, you actually don't know. If you haven't been pre-qualified, you haven't gone to a bank and tried to get pre-qualified for a mortgage, you have no clue how much they are going to allow you to borrow. Please type, if you've been pre-qualified, type yes. If you have not been pre-qualified by a bank, type no. If you've been pre-qualified, type yes. If you haven't, type no. You see how many no's are in this chat? You don't even know how much the bank would finance you. Some of you making $45,000 a year, not too much savings. Some of you are in a position right now to go borrow $350,000 from a bank for a mortgage. But you don't even know because you told yourself you can't, and therefore you never even tried. So on Monday, I encourage all of you to go try to get pre-qualified. Go get pre-qualified. See what interest rate they're going to give you. see what your credit score is, and see how much they would allow you to borrow. That's the first step. Even if it comes back lower than the houses in your market, now you know you have work to do. But right now, you have taken yourself out of the game because you told yourself you can't afford it when you had no clue whatsoever, okay? With multifamily real estate, or even just real estate in general, you can actually get in the game. You can get in the game with 3.5% down. 3.5% down. It's called the FHA loan, okay? The F in FHA does not stand for first time. It actually stands for federal. So for those of you who bought a single family home with an FHA loan and now are trying to become real estate investors, guess what? The F doesn't stand for first time. It stands for federal. And there are actually secret ways to use the FHA loan more than one time. There are ways to get you out of that situation because you got caught up in the American dream. The American dream is called a dream because it's an illusion. It's actually the American nightmare. Go to college, get debt. Buy a single family home, get debt. Have one job to pay for all of those things, stress. One job leaves, all of a sudden, all those other things cause more stress in your life. That's not the American dream. That's not a dream. That's not the dream that I want to have. I'm living my dream, and it's not that. It's not that. Okay. So here is a duplex that I bought here in New Orleans, and one is 5 bedrooms up top and 4 bedrooms downstairs. And I bought it for $300,000. So with the FHA loan, the 3.5% down, 3.5% down on $300,000 is only $10,500. So literally, you could control this asset, this entire asset, for just $10,500 with the FHA loan, which is a federal program. Okay, $10,500. That's it. Okay. So this is the power of certain programs that are out there that will help you get into home buyership. Notice I didn't say home ownership. Okay. You don't actually own the home until you paid off the mortgage in full. On HGTV, they'll have you convinced, oh, congratulations, you're a homeowner. No, you're not. Because guess what? The bank owns 96.5% of your home. You only own 3.5%. So you are not a homeowner until the mortgage is fully paid off. Okay. So in chat, please let me know if you're a renter, home buyer, or a full owner. Yes, Carol. In addition to the $10,500, there are closing costs and any fixes that you would have to make. So yes, this is going to require some money to get in the game. There's no way that I found to get into real estate in terms of acquiring real estate with zero money whatsoever. Okay. So we got mostly renters, we got buyers, few owners in here. Okay. And some people, I guess, and since everybody's not responding, I'm just assuming people living on the streets. We out here in the streets, huh? Living at home. Okay, cool. Good. So next is the monthly payment. A lot of people are like, I don't know if I'll be able to make the monthly payment. In fact, the average rent in the United States for a 2-bedroom is $1,225. Okay. Now, the average home in the United States costs $218,000 at 4.5% interest for 30 years. That would be a mortgage payment of $1,288. So literally, if you can pay rent, that's only a $63 difference. So if you could pay rent, you could literally buy a property. If you have been paying rent consistently, because y'all don't miss rent payments, okay? So if you can pay rent, you could own a single family. But of course, this webinar is not about owning single family home, okay? So there's an opportunity cost of paying rent, right? This woman wrote me not too long ago. She said, I love your online seminar. I really wish I could join, but being a single working mom right now is what's preventing me from pursuing my dreams. At this time, I pay $1,200 per month for 9 years, which is insane for rent to a slumlord who never fixes anything. So when you add all of that up, y'all, this woman has literally paid $130,000 to somebody who's not from our community, does not care about her, and literally is just trying to extract. $130,000. Now hear this. She is putting it on the fact that she's a single working mom, and I feel for her to have to lift all that weight by herself. But being a single working mom is not the reason she is in the situation that she's in. A lease only lasts a year. There's no 9-year leases out there unless it's a commercial lease. So at the time that lease was up, if she wanted to, she could have found another space. So we have to stop using excuses for why we're not taking action in the direction that we desire. Because a lot of people just use excuses and excuses build bridges to nowhere. They build bridges to nowhere. And that $130,000, that's without interest, by the way. Okay. So in chat, please let me know. Please put in how much rent or mortgage you're paying. Put 1,200 rent or 1,400 mortgage. Please put that in chat. 1,600 rent, 1,400, 1,200 rent, 2,700 mortgage, 550 rent, 1,300 mortgage, 3,000 mortgage. Dang, where y'all living? 2,400 rent, 1,500 rent, 1,500 rent, 1,330 rent, 1,800 mortgage, 1,800 rent, 1,550 rent, 2,500 mortgage. Man, y'all could be my renters. Y'all out here just giving money away. So watch this. Let's just say it's 1,000 just to make it easy. Okay. Let's just say your rent or your mortgage is 1,000. If you could, instead of paying someone else that $1,000 a month, if you could actually keep it and invest it at 5% for the next 40 years, you could keep that $1,000, and every $1,000 that you were able to keep, you invested at 5%, which is very conservative, over the next 40 years. Can anybody guess how much money you would have after 40 years if you invested $1,000 a month at 5%? How much money would you have after 40 years if you invested $1,000 per month at 5% interest rate? Any guesses? Any guesses? Christina is good. You would all have $1.5 million. You would have $1.5 billion if you simply could stop that $1,000 from leaking out of your family, keep it, and invest it at 5% for the next 40 years. I told you this is not get rich quick, but it is get rich guaranteed. This is just math, y'all. This is just math. I ran the calculation, and you would have $1.5 million if you could literally just get rent and mortgage off of your books and invest that money instead. Guaranteed path. If you could just do that simple thing. I'm not saying forget trying to start your $1 million business. I'm not saying don't keep investing in stock market, etc. But I'm saying if you just do this one thing alone, 40 years from now, and some of y'all are like, Julian, I ain't got 40 years. Well, it doesn't just end with you. It does not just end with you. So sometimes we have to pass the baton on to the next generation. You pass it to somebody else 20 years from now, and then they take it the next 20. Stop thinking so short. I think it's short-sighted, right? We have to have a long-term vision, okay? People without a vision will perish. So what we're showing you tonight is a guaranteed path to you becoming a millionaire. Or if you don't become the millionaire, at least your family did. At least your family did. And they will only do that because of you, okay? They say if you don't come from a family of millionaires, then you need to be the one that makes your family million. You need to be the one, okay? So this is the guaranteed path to do so. So first and foremost, let's look at, I need to come at you renters, okay? I told you there's going to be an emotional journey. I'm pretty harsh. I come with a spirit of tough love being the noun, tough being the adjective, because I realized that soft, I have a dream stuff, it just doesn't work. And King even realized that as he was approaching his death, that soft stuff really didn't move people. Okay. And so I'm about to come at the renters for just a second. Okay. So if you're a renter type renter, some people hesitant now. They're like, uh-oh. Okay. I know there's more renters on here, but y'all hiding. That's okay. You know who you are. So for all of you who are renters, I need you to accept the reality that you are homeless. I need you to say to yourself right now, I am homeless. Go ahead and type that in. I am homeless. Yes, I said I am are two of the most powerful words in the English language, but I need you to temporarily accept the reality that you are homeless so that you trigger the survival mechanism, which is in the amygdala of your brain, to the reality that you are actually homeless. See, you've been telling your subconscious mind, oh, this is my apartment. And when you tell your subconscious mind that this is my apartment, it's like, oh, okay, we good, we safe, we got a place to live. But the reality is you are not on the title, you are not on the deed. So the reality is that you are actually homeless. So the next time you actually have a dinner party at your house and you invite people over for a birthday party or whatnot, do not put come over to my apartment on the invitation. Say, come over to Tommy's apartment. Come over to Michelle's apartment, because that's where I've been renting for the past 5 years. Don't put your name on the invitation. Don't say my house on the invitation, because it's not your house. You're not on the title. You're not on the deed. You will never inherit that house. It is not yours. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's keep it 100, right? We like keeping it 100. Let's keep it real. It is not your house. So next time you send out an invitation, say, come over to Tommy and Michelle's house. I can be like, who's Tommy and Michelle? Oh, that's the owner. I just rent here. Some of y'all getting real comfortable in the renter mentality. You in here painting the house, you putting up bookshelves, you mowing the lawn, you sweeping the hallway, you acting like it's yours. It's not yours. You were supposed to be temporarily renting for a period to position yourself for ownership. But here you are year after year later, still renting. Coming over like, oh, I just got the dopest apartment. That's not something to celebrate. That is not something to celebrate. Oh, I got this fly apartment in downtown Brooklyn. What is there to celebrate about that? If I'm your owner, I'm going to celebrate. But why are you celebrating? Now, here you are. With all this, you got this technology. You're here tonight, whether you're on a phone, whether you're on a computer, you got the internet. Here you are, this hard worker. You got all this education. You're this good person. Yet how is it that the person who's sleeping on a bus bench tonight, the person who's sleeping on the bus bench tonight, who probably dealt with some severe mental illness, probably had something traumatic happen to their life, probably dealing with some sort of addiction, how is it that they own as many properties as you do? Zero. The person sleeping on the bus bench tonight owns as many properties as you do. How is that the case? That doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And so it's time for you to recognize that you were homeless and actually do something about it. You need to get up, get out, and get something. Because right now, you don't have anything. The first thing that you need to secure is your housing. That is the first thing you need to secure. Before you try to build your business, before you try to do this and try to do that and try to do this, secure your housing. All right? Y'all with me? So for those of you who are renters, you want to know what my prayer is for all of you? You want to know what my prayer is? And my prayers get answered. As you can see, I've manifested a lot. My prayer for all of you is that you have more bed bugs, more roaches, and more rats starting tonight. That's my prayer for all of you. That's what I want for all of you. Because I think that's the only thing that's going to make you uncomfortable enough to get off your butt and go do something different, to get serious about owning something. You getting real comfortable. Don't put stencils on the walls and all this stuff, decorating, like you're going to be there for you, like you setting up shop. For those of you renting, you should still have boxes with your stuff in it because you knew that you weren't going to be there for a long time. Don't even unpack the boxes. If you were about to rent something, don't even unpack the boxes. Only label the boxes, only take what you need because you're not supposed to be there for a long time. You're not supposed to be there to set up shop. It's a temporary space that you were using to position yourself for something else. Y'all with me? Y'all with me? So here you go. Single family home buyers. Y'all got caught up. I'm sorry. I don't know why anybody didn't tell you. You got caught up. You got caught up in the American dream, trying to keep up with the Joneses, trying to be like white people. You got caught up. Okay. And now some of you feel trapped. Okay. And some of you are caught up in single family homes. And the only reason you're staying at the job that you hate on the corporate plantation that you hate is because of your mortgage. You're literally tied to a job you hate because you're afraid of missing a mortgage payment. You want to know what the word mortgage literally means? Mortgage, like mortician. Mortician deals with death. The word mortgage literally means death pledge. These bankers came up with it in the conference room. They're like, we can't call it a death pledge. Let's use the Latin version of it. Mortgage. They won't know what that means. Literally, many of you have signed up for a death pledge. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Okay? So tell me this. At what point does a single family home ever put money into your pocket? It's supposed to be an asset, right? When does a single family home ever put money into your pocket? When you sell it. And then you sell it, where do you live? So when you really look at it, all of you have put yourself in a position where you bought yourself a home and you bought your banker a home because of the interest that you're going to pay. Now, you all got the keys and you're like, oh, look at me, I'm not paying rent anymore. Congratulations, this and that. False. And I'm going to break it down to you. If you're a single family buyer, here's the truth about that transaction. You want to know the truth? Hear this. The truth is that the bank buys your home. You didn't buy it. You didn't have the money to buy it. You had to go borrow money. The truth is that the bank bought your home and then it rents it to you for 30 years. You thought you weren't paying rent. The bank rented your home to you by renting you money, okay? That interest on a $300,000 home with 3.5% down at 4% is $208,000. So on a $300,000 home, you're paying $208,000 in interest over the life of that loan. When you divide 208,000 by 360 months, which is a 30-year mortgage, you know what? You want to know how much you were paying in rent every single month? $578 per month. That's what you were paying in rent. But it wasn't rent to a landlord. It was rent to the bank for renting their money. So you were still paying rent. It just wasn't to a landlord. It was to the bank. Okay? Numbers. I didn't make these up. You can go run the calculations yourself. Okay? So I included PMI for those of you who use FHA. I've not included property taxes, insurance, your utilities. In fact, some of you who own a single family home on this side of the street have more money going out of your door because of the interest, the property taxes, insurance, utilities, etc., than a person who's renting the same house across the street, but they're renting it and they don't own it. Because when you're renting it, you're not paying for property taxes. You're not paying for the insurance. You're just sometimes not paying for the utilities. You realize that on your single family home, on your first mortgage payment, 70% of that payment was actually interest. Let's say you paid $1,000 to the bank for your first mortgage payment. Look at me, I'm making my first mortgage payment. 70% of it was interest. Only $300 went to your principal. This is the hustle. This is why it's not the American dream. It was all the setup. It was all the setup to keep you on the corporate plantation, doing what you got to do to make sure that you could pay this mortgage. Now, some of you are like, oh, Julian, well, my house appreciated. Well, your house appreciated by $100,000, but guess what? That $100,000 is only going to pay back some of the interest that you paid to the bank. Oh, Julian, I own my home. It's fully paid off. Well, when you own a home in full and it's 30 years old, what happens to a home after 30 years, y'all? Maintenance. So you think your mortgage is gone, but guess what? Now your maintenance has become your mortgage. So at no point does a single family home actually put money into your pocket unless you're Airbnb in it. So this is how many of you got caught up. So here's a reality. If you can pay rent, you can own a single family home, okay? But that's not what this webinar is about. If you don't want to pay rent or mortgage, you can simply own a multifamily home. If you don't want to pay rent or mortgage ever again, you can simply own a multifamily home. I mean, it's just straightforward. But it's the above ground railroad. We can see it with our eyes, but it's almost so obvious that we overlook it. Now, the reason gentrification happens is because other people from the outside look at our neighborhoods and they're like, oh man, that's gold right there. But they don't see that it's gold. They think it's copper. They think it's copper, but we see it's gold. This is how our communities get gentrified. It's the same thing when you're dating. You next to your significant other for a period of time, and you start taking them for granted because they're always around. They're always here. And then somebody else swoops in, and all of a sudden, they're getting love from somebody else because it's new to them. This is the same thing with gentrification. Some of y'all are getting gentrified in your romantic relationships. Hopefully it's not a white girl, or a white guy. But some of y'all getting gentrified in your romantic relationships because you're not appreciating the person sitting next to you because they're always around. You don't appreciate the hood because you've been there the whole time. But everybody on the outside looking in the hood is like, that ain't really the hood. Gold. You called it the hood, and the hood has a negative connotation as if it's bad. Why would they become a bad situation? If it was really that bad, why are they so eager to get in? See, our perspective is messed up because we haven't trained our eyes to see the value and opportunity that are right around, okay? Many of your eyes have been trained by HGTV. You guys watching these shows on HGTV, call it foolishness, HGTV foolishness. Because the reason first investment property probably won't look like anything you see on HGTV. All these nice finishes and things of that nature, Pottery Barn, 31, container store layouts, things of that nature. First investment property, anything like what you see on HGTV, okay? A lot of you watching shows like the Property Brothers, you know what I say? Screw the Property Brothers, okay? Screw the Property Brothers. Instead, I'm your new property brother with an A, and I'm gonna keep it real with you about real estate. I'm gonna share with you the things that HGTV and the Property Brothers don't tell you, okay? One thing I do know for sure, that it's about guaranteed cash flow, not granite countertops. Type in chat, do you want guaranteed cash flow or granite countertops? You want guaranteed cash flow or granite countertops? Because sometimes I'm just confused. When I come look at your lives, I'm confused about what you really want. I want guaranteed cash flow because I know if I get guaranteed cash flow, guess what? I'm gonna be able to get all the granite countertops that I want. And secondly, like, why are you so enamored by granite countertops? Granite countertops do not cost that much, y'all. Oh, stainless steel appliances. You realize you could go to Home Depot and get stainless steel fridge for like $700. Like, why are we so woo, like, oh, I need, oh, stainless steel appliances. Look at those. Look how they shine. There's nothing special about stainless steel appliances. There's nothing special about granite countertops. But we just, these buzzwords that we get hooked onto, and it has us looking at the wrong thing when it comes to multifamily real estate or real estate in general. This is my first home, okay? This was not my dream home, but it made my dreams possible. You can see, look at it. Linen white paint, nothing special, nice floors, right? Look at the kitchen. No granite countertops. These are the cheapest countertops. White. I did have a dishwasher, okay? This was my first home. It was not my dream home, but it made it possible. I knew that this was not my dream home, but I knew that it would set me up to get my dream home. Some of you are so impatient because you're trying to keep up with the person sitting next to you subconsciously. Some of you are conscious of the person you're chasing. And some of you are doing it subconsciously. Some of you are trying to chase a sibling, right? Some of you are trying to prove to something to somebody else at church, whatever it is. And it's throwing you off your game because you aren't doing it for the right reasons, all right? So you have to decide which side of the line you want to be on. Single family buyer or multifamily investor. See, single family buyers, they're looking for their dream home. Multifamily investors, they're looking for an asset that will pay for their dream home. Single family buyers, they're looking for granite countertops. And family investors, they're looking for guaranteed cash flow. Single family buyers, they're looking for a place to raise their kids. Multifamily investors are looking for a place to raise their net worth. Single family buyers, they buy based on emotion. Multifamily investors, they buy based on economics. Single family buyers, they're looking for a place to call home. Multifamily investors are looking for a place that other people can call home. Single family buyers are looking for open concept, one of those buzzwords. Multifamily investors, they're looking to open up possibilities in their life. Single family buyers are looking for a finished basement, another one of those buzzwords. Multifamily investors, they're looking to start building wealth. Which side of the line do you want to be on? Which side of the line do you want to be on? Okay? So a lot of you are out here, looking for real estate on Truly and Zillow. Okay. First and foremost, you don't look for real estate first. You go get your financing lined up first. What's the point? You find a great property online, but you don't have financing lined up. You won't even be able to make an offer. So what's the point? This is why you need your financing lined up first, and you want to have the lowest interest rate possible. And there's some strategic things that you can do to get your interest rate down from 4.875 to 4.25. And that will save you literally $30,000 just by that small little change in your interest rate. Okay, remember, this is something that's over 30 years. I told you $208,000 in interest on a $300,000 mortgage. Truly and Zillow are the last places that I go to look for multifamily real estate. The best ways, the way I get real estate, I get it emailed to me from various sources every single day, and I get it text message to me. Off-market deals. You see this quote below? Mass marketed listings regularly command a 30% premium to off-market deals. So why do you think I've been able to build my wealth? Because I know how to find off-market deals. Truly and Zillow. If a multifamily deal is on Truly and Zillow, it is no longer a deal. It has probably been seen by 15 investors before an agent is like, oh, none of the investors moved on it. I'm going to put it on Truly and Zillow. If you bookmark something on Truly and Zillow and it was a deal, by the time you get back from the bathroom, it will be gone. It will be gone. Okay. So this is not how you search for multifamily real estate. These are great for single family homes, right? That have open houses scheduled, and then you can put in your competitive bid and things of that nature. Multifamily real estate does not work in that same way. Okay. You want to find off market deals. All right. That's where you're going to get the value. Now, a lot of you have a real estate agent or are considering looking for one, and you don't just need a real estate agent, you need a real estate advisor. See, real estate agents, here's how you know you need more than a real estate agent. Next time you find a multifamily home, go ask your real estate agent to calculate the cash on cash return. They won't know what a cash on cash return is. They won't know how to calculate it. Why? Because it's not on the real estate exam. I told you before that real estate agents and real estate investors, they have two different mindsets. Cash on cash return is the number one metric that you need to know when you're buying multifamily real estate. Agents, you know what they do? They primarily sell single family homes to American dreamers. So that's all they really know how to do. Go ask your real estate agent how many multifamily homes they own. If they really understood what a multifamily real estate deal looked like, then they would own multifamily homes. They're the ones who see it first, right? So you need more than a real estate agent. A lot of you are being lazy about this process. You have sent your real estate agent your criteria of neighborhood and your size and number of bedrooms and things of that nature, and they put you on an email autoresponder that comes out at 8 a.m. every single morning. And it not only goes to you, it goes to everybody in their whole entire firm. All their clients get the same exact email. That is not how you find multifamily real estate deals. That's not how you find real estate deals in general. Okay, so stop being lazy about your search process. That is not where you're going to find gems. Okay, when it comes to multifamily real estate, you have to have what I call the 4 eyes of real estate. You have to have eyes for the market, eyes for the neighborhood, eyes for the property, and eyes for the deal. Eyes for the market. How do you know if a market is expanding or contracting? Okay, what are the data points that you need to know to analyze that? Okay, eyes for the neighborhood. In fact, here's one of the packets that my students use. These are 30 plus signs of gentrification. They literally just come in here, they walk through the neighborhood, and they check these things off. Yes, yes, yes. And if there's 20 signs of gentrification that they see based on this packet, then you know that that neighborhood's about to turn, and you buy on the other side that has not turned yet. Okay? Eyes for the property, same packet. You have to be able to see the hidden value and the hidden cost in a property when you go in it. Hidden value and hidden cost has nothing to do with stainless steel appliances or granite countertops. That's not one of these check boxes. Okay, but these are the 30 check boxes that you need to be able to go in, and actually 50 when you take in the hidden cost. You need to go look for these things. When I go into a property, I'm not looking at the same thing that a single family buyer is looking for, or the traditional buyer. I'm looking for hidden value and hidden costs in this property. And then you have to have eyes for the deal. Eyes for the deal are typically 3 ways to structure any real estate deal, and you need to know which way is best for this given situation. Okay. Multifamily real estate is different than buying single family real estate. When you're buying single family real estate, all you have to do is assess, what did I get approved for? Does this home cost less than what I got approved for? And do I like it? That's it when it comes to single family real estate. Multifamily real estate is a lot different. Okay. So we have to start buying assets over liabilities. When I look at some of your balance sheets, and I'm gonna just keep it real with you, this is tough love. For some of you on your balance sheets, your balance sheet is your assets minus your liabilities, which yields your net worth. You know that there are babies that were born in the past hour that we've been on this webinar, babies that are 0 years old, and they have higher net worth than some of you who are actually on this webinar right now, who have been on this earth for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. They're literally children that were born within the past hour that have a higher net worth than some of you. Something's wrong, y'all. And this is not just about Black people. 76% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. We ain't that deep. So this is not just about Black people. This is about the powers that be trying to do whatever they can to take control and keep the people in general powerless, not just our people. Okay? So when you think about multifamily real estate, you got to be clear on what an asset is. An asset is something that has value, okay, produces income or appreciates, and has a ready market. Assets put money into your pocket, okay? And when you acquire enough assets, that's what leads you to financial freedom. Having the highest paying job does not lead you to financial freedom. Being debt free does not mean you're financially free. Now, do I want debt freedom for all of you eventually? Yeah. But guess what? If you're debt free, but you still make all your money through active income, you're still not free. You're still not free. The way to be financially free is when your passive income is greater than your cost of living. And this is what multifamily real estate allows you to do. My passive income from my multifamily real estate portfolio is greater than my cost of living every single month. So at this moment in time, even though I'm not even 40 years old yet, I don't have to work a day in my life ever again if I don't want to. The only reason I'm here with you tonight on a Saturday night is because this is my purpose. And I want to share this information and expose as many people as possible to this path, because I found myself growing up running down this path. And then I was like, wait, nobody down that path is getting free. There's got to be a different path. And this is the one that I found. And this is why I'm sharing it with you. Okay. So I have a question to ask you. If I told you I found this ATM machine that would eliminate your $1,000 a month rent expense forever, and on top of that, give you an extra $90 cash every single month, guaranteed. All you have to do is pay $10,500 one time. Would you give up or go get the money? In chat, let me know. Would you give up or go get the money? I found an ATM machine that would eliminate your $1,000 a month rent expense forever. And on top of that, give you $90 cash every single month, guaranteed. All you had to do is pay $10,500 one time. Would you give up or go get the money? So everybody says they would go get the money. Okay. So here's the deal. Talked about training your eyes so that you can see these opportunities. Here's the ATM machine right here, y'all. This is what it looks like. My $300,000 duplex here in New Orleans. Look at the numbers. The price is $300,000. 3.5% down would be $10,500. The rents for both units is $1,600 each. That's $3,200. The mortgage is $1,259. The taxes and insurance are $335. The CapEx, repair reserve, and vacancy rate is $515. And so the cash flow from this property every single month, like clockwork, is $1,090. This is the ATM machine. You've been driving by it on your way to work. You've been driving by it on the way to pick up your kids from school. You just couldn't see it as an ATM machine. You just saw it as another piece of property that people lived in that you couldn't afford. And it's not true. You could actually go acquire this property for yourself right now. This is the ATM machine, y'all. It's been right in front of you. It's the above ground railroad, but it was so obvious that you couldn't even see it. You didn't have the language. You didn't understand these numbers the way that I do. So answer me this, y'all. What other business can you buy for $300,000 with only $10,500 down and get financed for the other $289,000 in 30 to 45 days just by emailing some documents that immediately cash flows in 30 days and succeed with minimal time, effort, or experience? What other business could you do that? Let me know in chat. What other business can you buy for $300,000 right now with just $10,500 down? Can somebody tell me one? None. Non-existent. I have not found another one yet. Multifamily real estate is the first business that should be in your family. This is your first family business. Okay? So when it comes to multifamily real estate, again, I said it's different than buying single family. All right? In fact, when you're investing in multifamily real estate, there are 23 numbers that you need to know to truly evaluate a deal. This is a financial model that I built out over the past 6 years. And all I do is I plug my numbers into these orange cells. And down here in the lower right, it tells me whether automatically this spreadsheet tells me if I should purchase or pass on this deal. No emotion, only economics. Okay. And so you need to know what all these numbers are and how to find them and where to find them. And then it's not true. Okay. But once you plug them in, you don't even have to know how to do the math. It does the thinking for you. And then what happens is if all of these say purchase down here in the lower right, what I do is I text message my agent in the morning, because I start in the morning. I look at the deals before anyone else. I start in the morning. I text message my agent. She gets a contract to me online. I sign it online. Within 15 minutes, I have my offer in. Now the clock is ticking for everybody else. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. You have to know how to evaluate deals quickly. Again, like I said, if you're over here saving properties in Zillow and Trulia, et cetera, and you think it's going to be there after you get off work or when you get to it in the weekend, you don't get the game and you will not get the house. This is not how this game works, y'all. So the process that you want to do is you want to acquire a multifamily home first and then use that to get your desired single family. A lot of people use their FHA loan, and some of them are here and they're asking me, Julian, how do I get out of this? And these are single family buyers. Everybody's proud of them. They had a housewarming and all of that, but now they feel stuck because watch what happens. They use their 3.5% down FHA loan to get their single family. That's $3,500 on a $100,000 home. Now they want to invest in multifamily. That's why they're here. But with the multifamily, you have to put 25% down. So 25% down on $300,000 is $75,000. So together they would have had to save up $78,000 for these two down payments. But if they would have done it differently, just change the sequence. All we had to do was change the sequence. Okay. And for single family buyers, you're not at the dead end. Okay. There are ways to get out. And I show you though. Okay. Change the sequence. Watch this. 3.5% down on $300,000 is $10,500. We already discussed that. Then from there, you live there for a year, which is a requirement for FHA. You move out to the single family that you desire. You rent this. And now this rent, these two rents were covering the mortgage and more. Now this rent is covering your single family mortgage. You're living in this space for free. And all you had to do was make $35,000 in 2 down payments. Literally, it's twice as easy to buy a multifamily first, then get your single family, than it is to get the single family, then your multifamily. It's twice as easy. Twice as easy. And twice as fast. Okay? So you gotta hurry, y'all. Like the clock is ticking. Because what's gonna happen is rents are gonna continue to rise. And if your wages aren't rising, but rent is rising, then that's gonna make it harder for you to save. And while it's harder for you to save, now the price of housing is also rising, which means your down payment is going to be higher, which makes it harder for you to buy. So literally there's going to come a moment in time for our people and people in general between renters and owners. And if you don't hurry and take action, you may never, ever own. You may think this is far-fetched. There are literally the gap between renter and owner will widen and widen and widen. And the only way somebody who's renting will ever be able to get over here is if they get a financial windfall because grandma left some money or something like that, and then they can jump over here. But just off of a salary alone, there will come a point where the prices of housing are so high and rents are so high that there's no way for somebody to get from renter to owner. So you got to move on this. There's like the window is closing. The window is closing, and I want you to own. And one of the most valuable things on earth is a piece of earth. We're trying to get all these other things on earth. Well, go get a piece of earth. Like literally, you own everything down from the top. I own everything down below me, all the way down to the center of the earth right now. How crazy is that? Everything below me in this property down to the center of the earth, I own that. I own that, right? And everything above, all the way to the heavens. And actually, heavens ain't up there. The heavens are within, right? But all the way up to the sky, guess what? I own that. I got the air rights to that. And then this beautiful piece of property that is on this land, I own that. And if I want to grow something, in fact, I've got oranges growing in my backyard. I own that, y'all. That's mine. So I encourage you, and I want all of you to have the same thing. When you think about it, the feudal system was in 900 AD. You might have learned about it in junior high school or whatnot. Feudal system was 900 AD. And in the feudal system, the king gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty. The king gave land to lords in exchange for loyalty. So where do you think the word landlord comes from, y'all? It comes from the feudal system, 1,100 years ago. See, I can't guarantee you that Amazon, Google, or Apple will be here 1,100 years from now. But I can guarantee you that if human beings are still on this face of this earth, then multifamily real estate will be here 1,100 years from now. And the rents will be through the roof, and the values of those properties will be super high. And so I want you to look at this as a stock that you are buying low. Even if you think the prices are high now, I want you to see this as a stock that you are buying low. Because over time, after generations, Go see how much your grandma paid for her house and see what it's worth now. When you sit on something, that long-term wealth, this is how it happens. 68% of Americans' wealth are tied into their homes. We didn't own, and so we weren't able to partake in that. But housing and the demand for housing is only going to increase. Now, when it comes to multifamily real estate, there are 4 financial benefits. There's a cash flow, there's a tax savings, principal pay down, and appreciation. This one property, look at this one property that I've been showing you, look at what this is going to do for my family over 30 years. Over 30 years, it will generate $638,000 in cash to my family. $638,000, this one property. The tax savings will be $278,000. The principal pay down, which is paid by the tenants, right, when I make my mortgage payments, is $225,000. And if this property appreciates by literally just 1% over the next 30 years, even though most properties appreciate by 3%, it would be an additional $104,000, meaning that this single decision will lead to $1.2 million in generational wealth that I get to pass on to my daughter. One decision, y'all. One property. This is how the game works. If you put that same money in the stock market, you'd have $742,000 and you would have had a lot of fluctuation and you'd have been on an emotional roller coaster. But this that I just shared with you is almost guaranteed. So this is what I wanted to share with you tonight. And a lot of people out there talking about securing the bag. Well, secure the bag by securing a building, and that will secure your housing, your retirement, and your legacy. Secure the bag by securing a building, y'all. Do that first. And I guarantee all your other financial goals will start to come from that. Now, of course, there are many ways to get involved in real estate. There's apartment buildings, there's real estate agent, there's vacation rentals like Airbnb. You're probably hearing about tax liens and wholesaling. Where I can help you is I can help you go deep in multifamily real estate. As you see, I've owned 11 properties. My portfolio is pretty expansive. And this is where I know how to get you that first property. I want you to have many properties. I don't just want you to have a property. I want you to have a portfolio. Okay. But we need to get that first one because that first one sets a tone. That first one, if you buy that right, it becomes the first domino that ends up knocking down all the other ones. Now, some of you have money stuck in the stock market. You took an L over since the beginning of the year. And like I said, these are the actual numbers. I didn't just make up that number about the stock market growth. I know how to calculate these things. When it comes to multifamily real estate and what I teach, I don't just teach you real estate because many of you are lacking what I call math for millionaires. Math for millionaires has nothing to do with calculus. I don't care what your grade was in high school for math. There is math for millionaires that you need to know. You need to know how to calculate the average growth rate of the stock market over the past 20 years. This is the only way that you can make effective financial decisions. But I've done it for you here, and you can see that the stock market on average over the past 20 years has only grown by 4.23%. The path that I'm showing you, multifamily real estate, we always are focused on getting at least a 12% cash on cash return, 3 times what the stock market is doing without the emotional roller coaster, without the worry, without worrying if coronavirus is going and deplete all your gains from last year. Okay. So this is what we are teaching. For those of you who came on late, this is my actual portfolio. Okay. Again, I've never made a mortgage payment in my life. I own all of these properties. I have keys in my trunk to all of these properties. Okay. All of them. Right? 32 doors, 13.8% cash on cash return, 19.5% appreciation. And the appreciation only went down because I sold some of my properties that are just appreciated. Okay. One property I bought 2 years ago at 125, it just sold it for 165. Another property in Oakland that I bought for $480,000. You want to know what I just got an offer on? $635,000 in 2 years. So I'm about to make what is that? $150,000 just for controlling an asset for 2 years. This is the game. When I show you how to buy right. So what Dr. Watkins and I want to invite you to, if you're ready to take this to the next level, if you're really serious, if you're not just going to go sign off on this webinar, then join the next webinar and then go watch another podcast and go buy another book and not take action. Because guess what, y'all? The truth will not set you free. Yeah, I know it's in the Bible. The truth will set you free. Truth will not set you free. Acting on the truth will set you free. Acting on the truth will set you free. And that's really the difference between the way we set up this program and the way other people do. Other people are just willing to give you the information, but we're not just here for the transfer of information. Dr. Watkins and I are here for your actual transformation. It does us no good to have a whole bunch of students in the Black Business School and people not getting free. Our commitment is to make sure that you get free. So what we want to invite you to participate in is a new program that I created about 6 months ago called the Multifamily Master Plan. The Multifamily Master Plan lays out everything that we discussed here tonight and a lot more. And it's a guided process over 12 weeks to get you ready to buy multifamily real estate and to buy it the right way. Okay, you can go buy a piece of multifamily real estate, but if you go find that deal on Trulia and Zillow, it's probably one that investors pass up on, meaning that there's probably no cash on cash return on that deal. So it's not just about buying a property, it's about buying the property right. And so we set up this process because we know that home buyership and eventually home ownership is the pathway, one of the key ingredients to the pathway to freedom for Africans in America. Okay, so the way this program is structured, it has 5 modules: finance it, find it, finalize it, fix it, and fill it. And I'm going to walk you through those in just a second. Okay, finance it. In this particular module, I'm going to show you no to low money down programs and grants you can use to get started without huge savings. What exactly are lenders looking for? The key numbers and ratios to be aware of. Quick credit fixes to improve your credit score and keep your interest rate down and save tens of thousands of dollars. FHA loans debunked, the dark side that most people don't tell you beyond it being just 3.5% down. Why you must shop for lenders first and not the home, and how to get the lowest rate possible by doing so, and why you should go as big as possible on your first multifamily deal as long as it makes sense. Okay. In the Find It module, I'm going to show you how to find great deals in your backyard, how to use the internet and the specific websites you need to know to find and do due diligence on a deal. And again, I'm not talking Trulia or Zillow. How to evaluate a deal in another state, even if you're investing from a distance. Why the asking price that a seller wants doesn't even matter at all. The only real metrics that make a deal worth it or not. And the people or tools you need in place to get off-market deals coming to you daily via email, and phone call. Okay. In the Finalize It module, I'm going to show you the 23 numbers that I talked about that you need to truly evaluate a deal to whether purchase or pass on that real estate opportunity. How to quickly evaluate a deal in 10 minutes or less so that you can get an offer in before anyone else. The only thing that beats a cash offer is a fast offer. The 4 most overlooked numbers that can make or break a real estate deal. How to never pay at or above asking price and get it reduced to whatever you desire without worrying about the seller walking away. And the 5 ways to exit any deal if the numbers aren't making sense or aren't adding up or something doesn't feel right. Okay. Fix it. The 10 types of contractors you need to have and trust in and on speed dial once a deal is in motion. You do not want to get your contractors after you've closed. You actually need your contractors during the closing process if you actually want to get the maximum bang for your buck and get the price reduced as much as you can. Okay. This is strategies that we teach. I've never paid, only one time have I paid at asking price for a home. How to vet your team beyond using Yelp or Angie's List. Questions to ask and things to look for. Walk, crawl, climb. Everything you must do, ask and look for during the inspection process. During the inspection process, you can actually get the price reduced. I've gotten the price. There was one home that I purchased for originally listed at $215,000. I got it for $180,000 because I knew what to do during the inspection process. Okay, $35,000 reduction because I knew what to do during the inspection process. First things first. What are the very first things you need to do once you have the keys? Hint, it is not move in. And then fix it or nix it. What you should fix immediately and what can wait until later once cash starts flowing. All right. Fill it. You're a landlord now. How to avoid 3 a.m. phone calls and manage a building without always being there. How to find great tenants fast if you have vacant units that need to be filled. What you need, who you need, and where to post. The free download of my sample lease agreement. And long distance investing secrets, how to manage your investments without actually being there, and the top 20 markets to invest in. Okay. So I have not just done this for myself. Of course, I've done well and I showed you my portfolio, but we have several students who have closed recently on properties. This is the Royal family. They said Julian's journey has always been an inspiration to my wife and I. We didn't think we were ready, but Julian helped us see that we were. Now that we own a fourplex in Los Angeles that is already appreciated and generates enough cash flow for my wife and I to both step into entrepreneurship full time while still being financially responsible parents of our 1-year-old daughter, Jubilee. Okay. This is the Campbell family in the Carolinas. My issue was that I had a rental property that I wasn't cash flowing because I didn't buy right, as Julian always says. Thanks to his coaching, we came up with a strategy to sell that property and leverage it up into a multifamily unit using a 1031 exchange. We found a real estate attorney to transfer the rental property out of my name and into the LLC. And now that we've corrected our real estate wrongs and have the cash flowing Airbnb in Charlotte, which Julian showed me how to scale quickly, in a multifamily where we live mortgage free in one of the 2 units. All right. So these are our students winning. This is Dante. He joined the program August 15th. I posted a deal, a duplex that I was not going to move on because I was upgrading my portfolio to 4plexes. And he actually made an offer on that duplex the day that he joined, and he closed on that on September 19th in 34 days. This is Jackie. She joined on July 4th. She closed on last Halloween. She closed on 2 properties from a distressed seller. She got a 3-family and a single family, all under market with equity built in because of the strategies that I taught her. And that's in Philadelphia market. This is Spencer. He closed in 3 months. He joined on August 5th, closed on November 2nd. He bought in Cleveland, Ohio, where he's from, even though he lives in Texas. This is Romaro and his family. They live in Oakland, California. As you know, that market is very expensive. So he bought a duplex in Detroit, this beautiful home in Detroit. He joined on July 30th, closed on December 14th. Okay. This is Jason Bailey. He actually lives in San Antonio, Texas. He joined on July 5th, closed on November 15th on this home that is right down the street from me in New Orleans that I helped him find and evaluate. And then this is Ron. He closed on this 4plex in less than 30 days. He joined September 9th. He closed on October 4th on this 4plex in Birmingham, Alabama. Okay, so you can see our students are out here winning. They are winning big, and these assets will be in their family's name for the rest of their life. They will be assets that will eventually be paid off and be pure cash flow as their kids grow up, for all of them who are having, and you saw some of the young kids that were in the pictures. Okay, so this is our responsibility as elders to do for the next generation to come and for our current situation right now. Okay, so the way to get access to this curriculum and to join us is to join the Black Real Estate Investor Group, where we are committed to creating freedom and generational wealth through real estate. With the Black Real Estate Investor Group, we are looking for 300 people, or we're looking to help 300 people or families acquire a cash flow positive multifamily home within 6 months of being pre-approved. Within 6 months of being pre-approved, we're looking for 300 people and families to support in this process. Okay, and there are hundreds of people on this webinar right now. So the multifamily master plan course standalone is actually $1,999. All right, but you will not be paying that tonight for this particular program, and I'll show you exactly how to get this program for basically free. All right, yes, I said basically free. I'll show you exactly how that works. Now, the multifamily master plan, the way it works is this is not the traditional online course. Why? Because real estate deals will not just fall in your lap while you're sitting in front of a computer. Okay, so only 20% of this program is actually on the computer. Only 20%, because as we discussed tonight and as I've demonstrated tonight, we need a mindset shift first. So on the computer and the videos that are in the modules, this is where I'm shifting your mindset so that you can see deals that are right in front of you and have been in front of you for a long time. And then 40% of the program will be on the phone, meaning that you're talking to your agents plural, okay, lenders, wholesalers, owners, contractors. 40% of the program will be on the phone. The other 40% will be in your shoes or in your car, actually driving through new neighborhoods to actually experience them. Real estate is a contact sport. The only way to win in real estate is you have to be in contact with people and you have to be in contact with properties. So this is how this program is structured. It's an experiential program. And I'm going to show you exactly how that works. Okay. Is everybody still with me? Chat got quiet. Is everybody still with me? All right, cool. I was just making sure that I wasn't froze or something like that, because I just keep going. I got a lot to share. So week 1 is financial house cleaning. Week 2, lender shopping. Week 3, pre-approval challenge. Week 4, real estate agent challenge. Week 5, neighborhood knowledge challenge, which is this packet that I showed you earlier. You actually go out in the neighborhood and you go through this entire packet so that you can evaluate that neighborhood and properties there. Week 6, a deal a day challenge. Then week 7, real estate team building challenge. My real estate Rolodex is over 60 people deep. I'm talking about lenders, contractors, agents, wholesalers, title companies, etc. Then you're going to do the new neighborhood challenge and the deal a day challenge 2 more times, right? If you follow this step, lock and step, then at the end of this program, you will be ready. You will be a sophisticated real estate investor, and you will know exactly what you're doing when it comes to buying multifamily real estate. In addition to that, we have weekly deal room calls. On the weekly deal room calls, they are live on Zoom just like this every 50 weeks out of the year. And we only take 2 off for holidays. And on those deal room calls, you can come in the hot seat and ask any question that you're dealing with as you're searching for multifamily real estate. I will bring you on camera, and I will coach you through whatever question or challenge that you're having live in the context of our community. And that's every single week, a space that you have to come ask your question. You also have, during the week, you have our Facebook group where not only do I go in there daily, but other people in our community also are there to answer your questions. A lot of people are asking in chat, how do I get that financial model? I don't just give that away for free. This is a priceless tool. Okay, I spent 6 years developing this financial model, and you get that as a student in the Black Real Estate Investors Group. You will get the Purchase a Pass Deal Analyzer. You also get a free ticket to come to a 2-day live event in New Orleans on MLK weekend. We just had it a month ago. It's our wealth and real estate weekend. On day 1, Dr. Watkins and I teach on wealth and other things related to money. And then on day 2, we focus all on real estate. And that ticket is worth $5.99. That's Dr. Watkins teaching about a month ago here in New Orleans. And that's a group of us at one of my properties, one of my 5 plexes here in New Orleans. In fact, this is the entire group right here that was here in New Orleans just a month ago for MLK weekend. So MLK, talked about I have a dream. Well, we're actually manifesting that dream together here in New Orleans. Okay, this is the work that we're doing. We're not taking a day off. We weren't taking a day off for MLK Day. We were in here putting in work, okay? So together, the multifamily master plan, the 50-week weekly deal room calls, and the live event in New Orleans, together that would be $4,997, okay? But in addition to that, I want to add something else in there, okay? We have several bonuses for you. The first one is the Fuel It module. And the Fuel It module is how you scale. So I do want you to get property number 1, but I don't just want you to have one property. I want you to have a portfolio. So there are a couple of hurdles when it comes to multifamily real estate. There is going from 0 to 1, 1 to 2, and then 2 to 10. And I'm going to show you exactly how I was able to do that without my DTI, my debt to income ratio, being impacted, so that the banks will continue to lend to me. I'm going to show you how I use property 2, 3, and 4 to buy 6, 7, and 8. I'm going to show you how I leverage that without actually losing those properties or having to sell those properties in order to do so. So that's the Fuel It module. I'm also going to give you real estate investor tax secrets to reduce your taxes. And I'm not just talking about your real estate taxes. I'm talking about your entire tax liability. This is not tax evasion. Tax evasion is legal. This is tax avoidance by leveraging the laws that are written in there for real estate investors. Earlier, I showed you that this one property was going to lead to $250,000 in tax savings. This one single property, $278,000 that I do not have to pay to Uncle Sam as a result of owning and controlling this property. And so I'm going to show you how to maximize that and how to set up your structure properly, okay? Then you're also going to get an overnight success program. For those of you who live in cities where Airbnb is actually acceptable, Airbnb can double or triple what you would get in regular rent. I built a 6-figure Airbnb business, and I'm going to show you how to do it quickly so that you can get bookings right away and get ratings up. I've also turned the Purchase a Pass Deal Analyzer to an online app, right? And our community comes in and we share that. And what's powerful about the online app is that rather than you just having a spreadsheet on your computer, we actually have a tab called Public Deals. And in the Public Deals tab, everybody is sharing deals that they're finding and evaluating in one space. And you know that they've actually gone through the 23 number methodology to evaluate these deals, which is absolutely powerful, because now it's not just your 2 eyes looking for deals. Now you have hundreds of other eyes looking for deals. We have tons of people in Atlanta. We have tons of people in New York. We have tons of people in Ohio. We have tons of people in California. So imagine being able to source deals from other people who are just as committed as you. Dr. Watkins is aware that some of you have credit issues, and so he decided to put in the credit mastery program so that you could actually boost your credit score. Literally, if you boost your credit score from 600 to 650, it's going to decrease your interest rate on your loan, which is going to save you up to $20,000 in interest on that loan. Okay, literally by just shifting from 4.625 to 4.125, that will save you over $20,000. And so we want you to get your credit right. Some of you need to pay for a credit repair service, but you want to start with this program to boost your credit score, just 50 points. There's some easy things that you can do to get some of those demerits off of your credit report, which will next month boost your score. We also want to give you another program called the Business Acquisition Program with Ace Chapman. We want you to own several assets. We want you to own stocks. We want you to own multifamily real estate. And we want you to own a business, whether you create it or if you buy it. And so once you're done with the multifamily master plan and you've actually closed on your home, we want you to start another program called the How to Buy a Business program. You don't have to start everything from scratch. All right. And so this program is really powerful. And we are also throwing in a Black Money 101, which is goes over the power of money. It's our financial literacy program. Some of you, like I said, don't know how to calculate a return on investment yet. Okay. And so it's going to be hard to be an investor if you don't know what a return on investment is or how to calculate it. So we have to go back to some of the basics. So when you add in all these things, the multifamily master plan, the weekly deal room calls, the event in New Orleans, how to scale from a Fuel It module, how to reduce your taxes, overnight success, purchase a pass online app, credit mastery with Dr. Watkins, the business acquisition program with Ace Chapman, and then the Black Money 101 program. This entire offer that we're sharing with you tonight and making it available to you will be $9,234. No, I mean, all of these programs sell a la carte for these actual prices, okay? So like I said about excuses, a lot of you are wondering right now, I don't know where to start. I'm alone on this journey. I'm not that good at math. I need help with money beyond just real estate investing. I've bought a home already. Do I need an LLC? Prices are too high where I am. My credit is too low. Look, we've covered every single gap for this program. We want to make sure that you win. So you don't know where to start? Multifamily master plan. Go in and just do each week's module. Follow the challenges one by one by one. That's what you do. We created a structure for you. You've been trying to piece together the information through all these websites and podcasts and books and things of that nature. I've put it in an organized structure for you that will get you to the finish line. You feel alone on this journey? Well, come be part of our community, not only our Facebook group, but also our weekly deal room calls where you will hear stories of people closing on deals every single week. People are closing on properties and you'll be able to learn from them and from me live on those calls. You're not that good at math? You don't have to be. All you have to do is go find these 23 numbers, which I'll show you how to do. And the purchase or pass deal analyzer will tell you whether you should purchase or pass the deal. You don't have to know any equations. All the equations are built in and baked in to the actual financial model that I created for you, okay? I need help with money beyond real estate investing. Well, that's what the event in New Orleans is for. It's our wealth and real estate weekend. So we'll talk about taxes. We'll talk how to reduce your taxes. We'll talk about estate planning. We'll talk about a whole life, maximum cash value, whole life insurance planning, right? We talk about all these wealth building strategies beyond real estate. Real estate is just one particular vehicle that we're going to use, but it is a core and central one. You already bought a home? That's all right. I'm going to show you how to reverse out of that situation. For those of you who are single family buyers, there's 5 different ways you can use FHA again. And I'm going to show you how to scale your portfolio, even if you've already bought a single family home or you already own a multifamily home. Okay. Do I need an LLC? Not yet. And I'm going to show you how to structure your business. When you do, I'm going to show you how to structure your business in such a way where you can maximize your tax savings as a result of owning multifamily real estate. Prices are too high where you are. That's okay. I'm going to show you additional business models, right? Additional business models that you can employ, like Airbnb, to actually increase rents, which could make a property actually make sense when you have an Airbnb business that's thriving in a particular neighborhood where traditional rents won't actually make it work. And then your credit score is too low. We're giving you the credit mastery program to make sure that you can increase your credit score. In fact, you only need a 580 as a credit score to get an FHA loan. And that's extremely low. Now with a 580, you do have to put 10% down, okay? You're not eligible for 3.5% down with a 580 credit score, but literally your credit score can be as low as 580. You can still use FHA. Okay, so this is the power of what we've put together. And together, all of this would be $9,234. Now, what I'm going to share with you is the link in just a second that you can use to join the program. But I just want you to know that we have a 30-day money-back guarantee at the Black Business School. So literally, you can come in, you can try the program, and after 30 days, within 30 days, if you're like, Julian, this is whack, then guess what? All you got to do is email support, no questions asked, and we'll refund you. There's literally no risk for you to jump in and try this program. I mean, the real risk is you continuing to rent and expect something else to change. That's the real risk. This program is not a risk. Literally for the price of, for the same price of about 1 month's worth of rent, we're giving you access to the opportunity and possibility to never have to pay rent again. So option number one for everybody who is here, it's going to feel free, but it's going to cost you the most. And option number one is actually to do nothing. Okay. And there are people here who will do nothing and just hope that things change. And remember, that's called insanity. Doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results, that usually isn't that effective. And so that's option number one, is doing nothing. Now, earlier, you all told me, when I told you about that ATM machine, you all told me that you would go get the money, right? That's what you told me. When you were using your Twitter fingers, you were like, I would just go get the money. And now that was just a fake scenario, but now this is a real scenario. And I'm putting you at a crossroads where you have to make a decision to give up on this dream and this idea of acquiring multifamily real estate by the end of 2020, or go get the money. Go get the money. And so what I want to offer those of you who are really serious and ready to make this happen is I want to give you the opportunity to join us at the Black Real Estate, at theblackreigroup.com. Theblackreigroup.com. Let me put that link in chat. Theblackreigroup.com. At that page, you can actually join this particular mastermind for $2,499 one time. $2,499 one time. We already agreed that this program and this offer is worth over $9,000. Okay, without the bonuses, is worth $5,000. Literally for half of that, we're giving you the opportunity to join us for $2,499 one time. No subscription whatsoever. You pay. You have lifetime membership to this program. For most of you, that is just 2 months of rent, 1 to 2 months of rent, or mortgage. And that's all we're asking, for the opportunity to never have to pay rent or mortgage ever again. Okay, so that link is in the chat, and go over there. Can somebody please tell me if that page is working? Can you please tell me if that page is working? Somebody? Okay, Christian said it's working.
Yes, it works.
All right, perfect. So B. Hardison said, how do you recommend completely broke people get started? Well, B. Hardison, you're probably not broke. Broke is a mentality. Okay, it's not a state of being. It's a mentality. It's poverty consciousness. If I go look at your bank statements right now, I can find a lot of things that you spent money on in the past 60 to 90 days, 30 to 90 days, that are the reason you're in the financial situation you're in. It has nothing to do. You're making money. Unless you're unemployed, you're making money. If you're unemployed, I do not encourage you to join this program. But if you're making money, I can go find money that you spent that was on liabilities and expenses. Okay? Stop me when I'm lying. Stop me when I'm lying. Okay? So, but be Hardison, if that is the case for you, if you feel broke or you don't have $2,499, that's a red flag, first and foremost. But we did create another option for those of you who don't have that at this moment in time. And you can actually join us for $299 per month for the next 12 months. Together, those payments will be $3,588. Once you make your final payment, you will have lifetime access to the program. Now, here's the thing. When you pay in full tonight, you will have immediate access to the entire program. When you join on the subscription plan, you will actually, your modules will be dripped to you based on your payments. When you pay $2,499, you will literally be saving $495. Okay, you'll be saving $495 when you you will be saving about $1,000 when you pay in full. You'll be saving $1,000. Lawrence, can you calculate that for me really quickly? 3,588 minus 2,499.
Yep.
So when you pay in full, you will be saving about $1,000, and you'll get immediate access to everything right away. When you pay on the subscription program, we made it low enough. We made it low enough so that it's accessible, but high enough to keep out people who are really not serious. We don't have time for people who are not serious. Okay. Again, all this is 1 to 2 months rent over time. 1 to 2 months rent for the possibility of never having to pay rent or mortgage ever again. This is what we're going to show you how to do. Okay.
Yep. So that's a $1,089 difference.
Okay. $1,089. Thank you. Let me put that here for folks. Cool. All right. So when you go over to theblackreigroup.com, you'll see this here, and you're going to pick the payment plan that works best for you, right? Based on where you're at in your life right now. There's no judgment. We're okay with wherever you're at. What we do, we want to get you out of your situation, though. We want to get you out of that situation, and we can only do that if you allow us to help you. Okay. So today, you can join for $299 per month for 12 months or $2,499 one time. Okay. Now, there is a price of procrastination, and the price will jump up to $3,997, and it will not include the free bonuses. Okay, which is $4,237 worth of bonuses that we are giving you as a result of you taking the advantage of this opportunity. Okay. For the bonus courses, you don't have to take those right now. You're going to be focused on the multifamily master plan. And once you've closed, then we will open up the bonus courses. We don't want you to get overwhelmed. We want you to stay locked in on the multifamily master plan and focusing on this one singular goal. Because once this is in place, it opens the door for everything else. Like I said, that property in Brooklyn, it set off everything for me. That one single decision, got me to a position where I've never made a mortgage or housing payment over the past 6 years. It gave me rent and mortgage freedom. And this is the deal that we're focused on. We're focused on helping you get that first deal. Okay. We'll worry about 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 after that. But what we want for everybody who's here tonight is to get that first deal. You're only one single deal away. Okay. So again, here's everything that you get when you join the Black Real Estate Investor group. For those of you who are visual, this is what it looks like visually. And that is also going to be in your course, so you'll know exactly what you paid for. But we encourage you to hurry. Why? Because rents are going to continue to rise, which make it harder for you to save, and then prices are going to continue to rise, which make it harder for you to buy. So you need to hurry, and you need to take advantage of this opportunity now. Okay. For those of you who stayed to this point, Zoom lets us know, and you will all be receiving via email. Okay. I'm going to repeat, via email, a list of free down payment assistance programs as our way of saying thank you for being here. Thank you for joining us on Saturday night. Thank you for showing up for your last name and for your legacy. We're going to give you this list of free down payment assistance programs organized by state so that you can go get some of that free grant money that is out there if it is available in your state. So with that, in chat, can you please let me know what was your greatest takeaway from tonight? What was your greatest takeaway from your night tonight? What blew your mind? What was your greatest aha? What's the one thing that you are moving forward with? And then we're going to switch over to Q&A. Now, when you're using Q&A, you want to use the Q&A tab below. Please do not ask your question in chat because chat is going to move too quickly. Use the Q&A tab below on Zoom. You'll see it at the bottom, and your question will be queued according to when you typed it in. That's where Lawrence will be pulling the questions from, and we're going to answer as many questions as we possibly can by between now and 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then we'll sign off for the night. All right. So Misani said no more mortgage payments. Clyde said time to take action. CB said the difference between buying multifamily first and buying single family first. Nettie said the better deal is off market. Dana said my first multifamily property purchase, right way to create mortgage payment freedom. JB said that you do not need a license to do real estate investing. Correct. Gilberto said ownership. Laquita said the knowledge and process and how to move in order. Sam said the American dream is actually the American nightmare. Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I'm glad those are the messages that I wanted to get across to you. So I'm glad that they stuck with you and supplanted in your subconscious mind. I hope they change your being, which changes your doing, which changes your having. So let's get into these questions so people can make their most informed decisions, Lawrence. But again, go to theblackreigroup.com. I'm going to put that in chat one more time right now, theblackreigroup.com. And that will give you the opportunity to buy. Once we get up to 300 people in the Black Business School in this program, we're going to shut down enrollment. And we got a good wave of people last night. So go ahead and take advantage of that now, and let's do it.
Man. Yeah. Julian, night 2 might have been better than night 1. Over here. You know, you had a little extra fire tonight before we got on a little bit. I was like, man, what's going on with Julian? How's he feeling today? How's he feeling? But then
if you know this is your last chance, you just gotta you got to come with it. Like, look, I may never see some of y'all ever again. And so I'm just got to like, if I know this might be the last time I ever see you and nobody else is going to tell you the truth, then I got to come with it. And so that's where it comes from.
I swear to you guys, he had like that Michael Jordan look in his eye. Like he was just like zoned in tonight, boy. And you can definitely tell. And, we work with a lot of instructors, a lot of different people who are experts at what it is that they actually do. And we have a lot of excellent instructors in the Black Business School and then just other partners that we work with. But, Julian is definitely, one of the best, if not the best, and most intelligent people that I've ever worked with, both in terms of what he actually knows and in terms of the subject that he goes, that he goes, full in on, but then also how he's able to communicate that knowledge to others to make sure that they're successful as well. So when it comes to that, you cannot get any better than, brother Julian Gordon.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, man. And I say that from the bottom of my heart. And this is a program that, we put a lot of effort and energy to bring you guys. And we're very happy to have you on board. There's already been a few people who signed up since we've been on this call as well. So we'll give them a shout out here in one moment. All right. So the first question is, Julian, can you join the program by phone? So I guess they mean the Sunday night calls.
Yeah, you can call in. And if you're on the corporate plantation Sunday night, you just gotta have the earphones in and listening in. Yeah, you can listen in. Otherwise, if you actually mean you need to give your credit card to someone, you want to email support@theblackbusinessschool.com, support@theblackbusinessschool.com. With your phone number, and make sure you let them, and typically we don't do calls. We don't have a call center. So let them know that you want to make a payment over the phone for the Black Real Estate Investor Group Mastermind.
All right. Shout out to Marianne McKenzie and Spence for signing up in the last, I guess like 7 minutes here. So, thank you and congratulations, for joining a program that will change your life.
100%.
JB wants to know, can felons do this?
Ain't nothing stopping a felon from buying real estate. As long as you need 3 things to get finance from the bank. You need cash, which is money for the down payment. You need cash flow, which is your income, and you need credit. So if you have those 3 things, the bank doesn't look at your track record. Okay, so that's all you need.
Someone asked, if we pay for the annual course, do we get access to some of your contractor contracts?
My contractor contract. There's a contractor contract in the program already. If you're talking about my contacts, my real estate Rolodex is in New Orleans. So if you're in New Orleans, I'm happy, and you're a student of mine, I'm happy to give you my full Rolodex. So if that's what you mean, I'm happy to. There is a contractor contract template in the program already for you wherever you're working with contractors.
All right. Clyde wants to know, can I use my VA loan to purchase a multifamily dwelling?
Oh my goodness. VA loan is one of the best loans in the entire world. Okay. So, and the answer is yes, Clyde. So we have a mortgage broker that we rely on, and he will do his best to identify the best lender who understands VA loans. And we'll get you on your way there. But thank you for your service. You have one of the best loans as a result of your service that in the world, and we're going to leverage that rather than the FHA.
Shout out to Victor Brown and Siobhan Black, who signed up in the last 2 minutes. Congratulations. We're very happy to have you on board.
Okay.
Nettie wants to know, how often will you open enrollment for this program?
Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to get to 300, hopefully, I think tonight. And then what we're going to, or at least by Sunday. And then what we're going to do is we're going to hold off, and we're going to work with those 300. And we're going to get as many of them to the finish line. Now, everybody has different timelines. Some people have to work on their credit. Some people have to build their savings. Some people need to get their income up. But right now, they'll be getting the knowledge. So we're going to try to move towards getting 100 people across the finish line. And then at that point, we will probably open up enrollment. But when we do, when we've actually proven that our students are closing, and I already showed you about 10 different people who close, the price will go up. The less risky something is, right? the more proven something is, the more valuable it becomes. So the price will be higher whenever we do open things back up.
All right. So Victor wants to know, peace, Julian and Lawrence. I am currently fighting for closure, but I'm getting out of it. Unfortunately, my credit took the hit. Do you think this program will still benefit me? Thanks.
So the way we think about it, and so sorry to hear about that. The way we think about it is you come in and you come get the knowledge now, so that the moment that foreclosure goes off your record, you're ready to buy, rather than waiting for the foreclosure to go and then saying, oh, now I need to go learn. That's going to be another 3 months to 4 month delay. It's taking our students who are ready to go about 4 months to close on their property. So we encourage you to come get the knowledge now so that you can be ready. It takes time to build relationships. I don't know what market you're in. It's going to take time to build relationships with and build out your real estate ecosystem, which I show you exactly how to do. So we believe that you should start, the earlier you start that work, the easier it'll be for you the moment that foreclosure is cleared up.
All right. Quick shout out to Adrisa for just signing up. We really appreciate you and congratulations and thank you. And looking forward to working with you with the Black Real Estate Investors Group.
Yes.
April wants to know, I don't have a job or income right now, but have some cash reserves. Should I join this program?
Same thing with the person who asked about the foreclosure. Come get the knowledge now so that you're not going to be unemployed forever. So come get the knowledge now, and then from there, go for as soon as your income goes back up and everything, then you'll be ready to go. Okay, you'll be ready to go.
Devana wants to know, what if you start with the monthly payment plan of $299, but we'll be able to pay the balance off within 30 days? Are we able to get the course for $2,499? So yes, the answer is yes. You have up to 3 payments, so 3 months to upgrade to the lifetime package. So for example, let's say 90 days from now, you've paid about $897, so about $900. Email customer service at support@theblackbusinessschool.com. That is support@theblackbusinessschool.com. They will give you a special link for you to pay the rest of the balance. So we'll take that $2,499 lifetime cost and subtract $897 from that. And then that is what you will pay. And you can do that either after the first month, second month, or third month. Let's see. Yep, this is the same. So can I sign up with installments and resort to full payment and still get the discount? So yes, I just answered that, Zavia. How many types of multifamily are there, Julian?
What we focus on for this program is duplex, triplex, fourplex. That's it. So that's 3 types. There's also mixed use where you could have like 2 commercial units upstairs. A commercial unit downstairs and two rental units upstairs. So that would be considered mixed use. So there's actually 4 types that we focus on. The FHA loan will work for that mixed use property. But again, after 5 units, it becomes a commercial property. Okay, and FHA does not work for commercial properties.
All right, Adrisa, one of our new students, asked, what is the market like in DFW for multifamily properties?
So Adrisa, I only know the New Orleans market, Oakland market, and Brooklyn market. What I teach you to do with the new neighborhood challenge, I teach you how to evaluate your market so that you know DFW as well as I know the 3 markets that I know. It's impossible for anybody to know every single market. So what I teach you and I train your eyes is how to know your market. So I don't have any expertise on the DFW market.
All right. So we have 3 new subscribers in the past 3 minutes. So shout out to Rosalind, shout out to Katharina, and shout out to Rolanda as well. Congratulations for signing up. We're very happy to have you on board. Yes. And welcome to a program that's going to change your life. So Chris wants to know, what is the minimum salary you suggest one should have to get started with the program?
So Chris, I'm not trying to skirt the answer, but it all depends on your market, right? So if you're trying to buy a 50,000 in Cleveland, is different than 50,000 in New York. Um, so what the banks are going to try to do is come up with affordability, and that affordability is going to be based on your cash flow and your credit. So to afford a duplex in Cleveland that is $150,000, $40,000 income may be enough. But if you're trying to afford a duplex in New York, which is 600 or 800, it's not going to be enough. So without knowing your market and things of that nature, I can't. There's no standard amount of income to be able to determine that. But I will let everybody know, when you're getting finance for a multifamily home, especially like, let's say you're going to move into one unit because you're using FHA. Let's say the rent on the other two units are $2,000 each. You know what the bank does? They give you credit for 75% of the rents from the other units, because that's going to be future income for you. So they'll take 2,000 plus 2,000, which is 4,000, and they will add $3,000 a month to your income. So let's just say, I think his name was Chris, $50,000. They'll add another $36,000 to your income to qualify you for that home, because they know that's going to be coming in from the additional units. So that's one of the powerful things about multifamily real estate, and that makes it, it actually increases your buying power when you buy multifamily real estate, because you get to add those rents on as income.
So someone asked, my income comes from rideshare. Will I be able to get a loan?
It all depends on the consistency and the amount, and how long you've been doing the ride share successfully. If you're inconsistent, the banks like to see consistent income. So if you're inconsistent and there's no like base, like every month I'm making at least 1,500. Some months it's 1,800, some months it's 1,500, but I'm always making at least the banks are going to want to see consistency. So it could be challenging. I know you don't expect to do rideshare forever, so come get this knowledge, and when you actually increase your income and have more consistent income, whether that's through entrepreneurship and rideshare or elsewhere, you'll be ready to move quickly rather than just starting your learning process then.
All right. So Julia, we kind of answered this question, but I think it's worth repeating. Okay. So Julia asked, by paying $299, will it give me full access to the course? What part is being dripped, and can you pay off early? So we'll take that. Or you want to answer that?
Yeah. So $299 gives you access to the first, I think it's the first 2 modules. Just to give you a little bit of a runway, and then your additional modules will be dripped as you go along. So you get two modules with every single payment that you make. Okay, that's the way it works. And then you can pay, Lawrence. I think, what is your policy? 90 days, as long as they pay in full within 90 days, or is it 60?
It's 90. So you have 3 months.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, you have 3 months to pay in full if you start out on the payment plan option. Okay, so Thomas wants to know, would you advise that I use my credit card for the one-time payment? Yes. I mean, we do not accept cash or check or anything like that. So either credit or debit card is the method of payment. We also accept PayPal for the one-time payment option as well.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So Rajuana asked, I purchased a program like this 3 years ago with Rich Dad. While I do not regret it, I still have not purchased a rental property. How is this course different?
Yeah. So that's a great point. So look, Rich Dad Poor Dad has sold 400 million copies. Okay. I would say that doesn't mean that 400 million people have read it. Probably maybe 10 million people have read it. And then I would say maybe 500,000 to 1 million have actually taken action on it. So the information can be there, but at the end of the day, it comes down to you. Now, what we are aware of, and one of the reasons we created this program, is because we know that there are people who are not from our community who are charging exorbitant amounts of money for the same exact information and they could care less whether you actually implement it or integrate it whatsoever. I've been to some of those workshops. Those workshops at these hotels were like 60 to 70% Black people there. And they're literally targeting us, and they are charging the down payment for your home. They are charging the equivalent of the down payment for your home for these programs and leaving you with absolutely nothing. We don't want to charge you the down payment. We want to charge you enough so that we can continue to do this work and spread this message and spread this gospel and hold you accountable. But we want you to have money in your pocket for the down payment. We are sorry. We are literally sorry that colleges have burned you. Liberal arts education has burned you. We are sorry that there are other programs that claim to teach real estate and probably ultimately do that have burned you by charging way more than they actually need to for this information. But at the end of the day, it comes down to your implementation of the information. Unless you are paying a consultant to go do the work for you, okay? That's what a consultant does. They go do the work for you. If you're not paying somebody to go do the work for you, which would cost a lot more, and you're paying for the information and the accountability, then at the end of the day, it comes back down to you doing your part. We know that the formula works. I just showed you several people who have taken this exact same information and acted on it. Again, the truth will not set you free. Acting on the truth will set you free. So part of it is the individual's responsibility. And if in mass, we found that students were not getting results, which is not the case for us, then we would have to go look in the mirror and say, something's not right with our program. But our students are getting results. So we know that the program works. And so right now, because every success story that we get actually lights a fire under the butt of every student who has not got a result, because we have demonstrations of students who have. Okay. So I don't know what your situation was, where you were at in your life and what was going on for you, or I don't even know the program that you were in. I didn't take that program that you were in. So I can't speak to it, but I do know with confidence what we are providing. And I know that we're providing it at a very affordable rate. Again, the price of this program is 1 to 2 months rent or mortgage for the potential of never having to pay rent or mortgage again. I cannot guarantee you a house if you don't do the work. If you're not out there analyzing deals on a daily basis, if you're not pounding the pavement, if you're not doing your new neighborhood challenge, if you're not working on your credit score, if you're not getting financed, if you're not doing a great job saving money, I can't make sure that you do all those things, right? But what I can make sure is that if you have done all those things, that you have all the knowledge you need to make sure that you get to the finish line. And the finish line for us in this program, the graduation for us in this program, is you closing on a multifamily home.
Yeah, and that's powerful, Julian. And it reminds me of actually the event in New Orleans, which was eye-opening for me, and a bit of a spiritual revelation or spiritual experience as well, because what you mentioned in regards to lighting a fire underneath your students, I think, going to that live event, and of course you guys, will get access to the live event next January as well. But the number of people who said that the most value that they got out of the live event was that it became real, right? It became real in terms of tangible, in terms of the things that they saw from, the apartment, the multifamily properties that were viewed, meeting with investors who are doing awesome things in Louisiana, and then also seeing their fellow classmates actually closing on multifamily properties and taking those necessary steps. It gave them the motivation, and it also gave them the confidence to continue to push forward. Like what you said with the Rich Dad thing as well. We care about you more than Rich Dad Poor Dad does, to put it quite frankly, and put it blankly. Rich Dad is not in our community. He does not care, or they do not care if our community succeeds or fails in this global economy. And this is something that we care about deeply. So that's a major difference. And then also you're getting taught from one of the best. And when I say one of the best, not just knowing what to do, but knowing how to communicate that in a way that you can learn from, but then also a way that will keep you motivated as well. So that's how this course is different.
100%.
All right. And we had about 6 people sign up in the last 6 or 7 minutes. So shout out to Jacob, Richard, Kevin, Mustafa, Jeremy, and Devona. We appreciate you guys. Yep. And congratulations for being a part of a program that's going to change your life.
Yeah.
So Mustafa asked, or wait, did it? Yeah, you're already in here. So you found it out, Mustafa. Mustafa asked, okay, I've been driving my semi truck the entire talk, and I'm off the road now. Where in hell do I pay my fee right now?
Right now.
But it looked like you found that. It looks like you found that. But for the individuals who may still be wondering, I'm going to drop the link in the chat again. It is theblackreigroup.com. That is theblackreigroup.com. And thanks, Mustafa. I'm glad, be safe on the road. And then, we're going to, get you some other assets in here as well with this multi.
Mustafa pulled over.
Yep.
Mustafa pulled over. He said, look, y'all, y'all out here playing.
All right. Hey, boys.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Good to see you again. I want to ask everybody who's watching, what did you think? What did you think? I mean, do you guys love? Do you guys love Julian as much as I do? It's what we do. We all love him. Julian's like a brother for us, and he's just a good guy. And what I really liked, can I tell them how we met? How you and I met each other, man?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, so we were out in, you guys know we have the film division because we're believers in Black ownership of everything, especially media and education. So we actually have Boyce Watkins Films, in case you guys don't know about it. We have Black Movie Night once a month where we celebrate Black filmmakers so we can make our own people famous. We need to create our own celebrities, have our own award shows, have our own Black Hollywood, and have it come out of our community. So anyway, we were in Brooklyn, and we were shooting one of our films. It's an installment franchise called The Black Love Blueprint. You guys have probably seen it around. The Facebook page has 300,000 to 400,000 people on it, and it's a brand that focuses on love and relationships. Because we know that relationships is one of the keys to wealth building. It's hard to build wealth if you don't have relationships. Just ask people in China, family is everything. Ask people in Africa, family is everything. You can't build wealth without family. So long story short, we're shooting this film in Brooklyn, and Julian, you were introduced to me by brother George. We're talking about George James. Yes, George James, who's a brilliant therapist, a really good guy, and I respect him a lot. He was actually in the film, and he said, "Hey, this is a guy that I wanted to introduce you to," and I said, "Sure." So you and I talked for just a couple of minutes, and then we made arrangements to talk on my way to the airport. And what I really have to say, I think I might have to call you the pitch master because this brother, he just totally came correct. You totally came correct. And I don't take that term lightly because I get pitched at a lot. I get pitched at every day. Somebody walks up and says, "I got $1 billion idea," right? And I'm like, okay, that sounds really great, but the idea unfortunately won't be fully developed, or maybe it'll take too long to get to the point, or maybe the person just or there's no capital behind it or whatever. But Julian knew how to pitch something. This is really, I'm giving you guys game in terms of how to approach people. So what he did was, first thing, he arranged for a car. He said, "Hey, can I give you a ride to the airport?" So he arranged for a car to pick me and Alicia up and take us to the airport. And then on top of that, he showed up with coffee. And Alicia loves her morning coffee, right? And I said, "Wow, okay, this brother's he's doing so far so good." And then we rode to the airport, and we were in the back. And in the time that we were riding to the airport, Julian pitched the idea of us working together on something, and I was super duper impressed by the way he approached us. And then at that point, I was like, okay, yeah, I want to work with this guy. And so now in hindsight, when I think about that moment, which actually was about 2.5, 3 years ago, right?
About 2.5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. It fits. It really fits because this brother, he went to UCLA, he went to Stanford, but he came right back to his community, and he did exactly what a strong, thriving community does. A strong, thriving community is not a community where everybody says, "Oh, I want to get away from my people. I'm gonna go somewhere else so I can learn and live and be who I'm gonna be." No, they come back to the community. You go out there and you get it, and then you bring it back home. So I went out and got my PhD. I brought it back home. Lawrence went out to Cornell, got an MBA. He brought it back home. Julian went to UCLA and Stanford. He brought it back home. So I want you guys to understand that this is a universal principle. That's why China has emerged as one of the strongest economies on earth, because they told their people, "We don't want you to leave and never come back. We want you to go out there and get it and bring it back home." So everybody type in the chat, "Bring it back home, bring it back home, bring it back home." Your strength and your power is right there with your people, right there with your community. That real estate we sitting on, the most valuable real estate in the world. We got the most talent in the world. We have 1.3 trillion in investing power. We have so many things that we can use. And all we really need at the end of the day is each other and us. So reconnect with your people. That's really important. And I'm gonna stop talking, but I get excited when I get going because you know I get to preaching on it. I'm not gonna. I've made a promise that I was gonna let these brothers do most of the talking because y'all hear me talk all the time. But I just want to say that that's what I honor and respect about Julian is that I'm sure if you've gone to Wall Street, you would have been successful. If you've gone to corporate, you'd have been successful. If you've done something in Silicon Valley, you'd have been successful. But you came back home, and I believe that by coming back home, you have an opportunity to be a king at a level that you would never be able to be in somebody else's space. And I understand that because that's what I chose to do. That's what my brother chose to do. And so understand this, Black folks, stop running around the whole neighborhood looking for gold in other people's backyards. You got diamonds and platinum buried right in your own backyard. The best resources, the best of everything. So bring it back home, bring it back home, bring it back home. That's all I got to say. I'm going to be quiet now.
Thank you, Doc. I appreciate that, man.
No, I love it. I love it. I was over here thinking when Boyce was talking about calling you the pitch man, and I'm gonna be real corny for a moment. Y'all heard the Candy Man. Well, I'm gonna start calling Julian the multifamily man. Say Julian's name 5 times, and he'll get you a multifamily property.
That ownership of property. I mean, it's a cultural thing. When Alicia and I went and bought that place that we got down in Chicago, the realtor straight up told us that a lot of folks from China were going in as families and just buying unit after unit after unit. So units were rarely available in that building. And so and it was a Black realtor who connected us with the deal. So what happens is wealth building really is cultural. People in a specific culture guide each other to deal flow and opportunities that they don't tell other people about. So I want you guys to understand that when you enter into the REI group, you're not entering into just a place where it's all about making money. It's about entering into a culture where ownership matters, connecting with each other matters, back in your community matters, etc. And that's what we're all about.
Yeah, so I got to let folks know. Lawrence, I know we got a couple more questions before we sign off. I just have to let us all know the reason why we don't buy in the United States, the reason why we didn't buy to the degree that we could have is that we didn't feel that this was home. We didn't feel that like this is home. If I go, I'm going to see Lawrence in Colombia in a week, and I know that that's not my home. So why would I go into Lawrence's home and say, "Can I buy this room?" Right? It's his room. It's not mine. Right? And so what happened in America, we knew that this land wasn't ours, and we as a people of African descent, we had a different idea of property. We knew that God gave us this property. We knew that God gave us this earth, but unfortunately, our counterparts, they saw property differently, and they saw property as something to take and to grasp and to hold and to use only for self. And we are now living in their paradigm, so we have to play within their paradigm. And so even though this land that we are on here in the United States is actually the land of our brown brothers and sisters, the Latinos, and hopefully one day I hope they get as much of it back as they deserve. We are in a different people's paradigm than how we traditionally related to land in Africa. And in fact, we probably would have never left Africa had it not been for the transatlantic slave trade, because we were on the richest land of all. Why would I go somewhere else? Why would I go somewhere else when I'm in the most beautiful place and the richest land on earth? Where else is there for me to go? We probably never would have left, unfortunately, had it not been for the transatlantic slave trade and now the diaspora. So we had different ideologies about land. And this is why it's been psychologically hard for us to step into the idea of ownership. But we are living in our oppressors' paradigm right now, and we have to play within some of their rules and in some of their mindsets and thinking. And we need to go acquire some of this land because it was originally ours. As the first people, as the original man and woman, this land actually does belong to us. It was given to us to be stewards of, and we have let an outsider come in and take more than their fair share. So this is a moral responsibility that we have to our people and to the earth and to God, honestly, in order to acquire real estate and the land beneath it and the sky above it.
Right on.
All right. I'd like to give a quick shout out to Bryant, Vakessa, Talmadge. I apologize for mispronouncing your name if I did. Clay, Crystal, Minerva, thank you all for signing up, and congratulations for joining a program in the community that I think is going to be very beneficial to your life, especially when it comes to wealth generation and wealth creation. All right. So someone asked, so Dave from London, can this course apply to the Black London property market?
Dave, we only need one question for that. And that question is, do people rent in London? I've been to London and there was plenty of apartments there. So wherever there are rentals, there is opportunity for multifamily real estate investing. Now, whether the FHA loan is available there, maybe not. I don't know what financing looks like in London, but if there are spaces where people rent, then this business model is at work and at play right around you now. So yes.
All right. Linda wants to know, is this cost a tax write-off?
Let me see how you can write this off. If you have a business and you are putting it under the category of continuing education, then yes, it can be considered a write-off. Otherwise, no, it is not a traditional write-off if you are a W-2 employee.
Yeah, and make sure you talk to your accountant about that. Make sure you talk to a tax specialist, that kind of thing, just to confirm.
Make sure it's in alignment.
For sure.
Yep. We do not do tax evasion. I told you earlier we teach tax avoidance, right, within the law, but we do not teach tax evasion here. That is illegal.
Absolutely.
Julia wants to know, when does this offer end?
Sunday at midnight, but we encourage you to join now because our next weekly deal room call is 7 p.m. tomorrow. So we don't want you to wait till midnight and then have to wait an additional week to have a live call with us. We have the actual live call tomorrow at 7 p.m. So we want you to get oriented tomorrow morning, go in, do the orientation module and be ready for that call tomorrow at 7. But the offer actually does end at midnight tomorrow. So if you got to go transfer some money or go do whatever you got to do, you do have about 24 hours, 26 hours to do that.
And also we have quite a few open questions, so there's a chance that we may not get through all of them tonight. If that's the case, Boyce and myself will be on at 4 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow with a special Q&A session that you all will be automatically registered for as well. If you want to join, answer, or ask any of these questions that you may not, we may not get to tonight, then tomorrow will be the time to do that. As Julian is our resident expert, and unfortunately can't make it, the questions will be geared towards the offer and towards the program within the Black Business School. I will not be able to answer your multifamily real estate questions in an in-depth level. So yeah, that is not my area of expertise, but there we go. JB says, I do not mean to come off as obtuse, but would mansions count as multifamily homes?
They definitely could. If you do a room share, if you do a room rental, they definitely could. I've considered that business model. And that actually may be the next wave. We're finding that a lot of retirees are actually moving into mansions that people have bought and renting out rooms in those spaces. It is a different business model. The hardest part of that business model is not getting them rented. It's actually creating a culture in that environment that everybody is in alignment with. But a mansion could definitely be considered a multifamily home if you're doing renting rooms.
All right. Someone else asked, would you advise me paying the one-time fee with my credit card? We answered that question a little earlier, but it's worth repeating. There's two ways to pay. So you can either pay by credit card or debit card. So that's the first way. You can use that for the one-time payment or the payment plan. And then if you are doing the one-time payment, we also accept PayPal as well.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Where am I at, man? Sorry. Trying to get some of these questions.
Want to do 3 more?
Yeah, we'll do a few more.
Okay.
I am disabled and on a low fixed income. Will I be able to purchase a multifamily home?
That is your disability has nothing to do with it unless you mean that it's hard for you to get work. Low fixed income, it all depends on your neighborhood and where you're trying to purchase. I don't know how low for one person is relative. I encourage everybody here go get pre-approved. Go to the bank and see what they would pre-approve you for. You might be surprised at the number that they come back with, and if that number fits for the opportunity to buy a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex in your market, then it's there. So the only way you'll know is if you actually go get pre-approved. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right. What if I don't want to live in the home that first year?
Then there are hacks to the FHA program. There's some strategic hacks that you can use, but the alternative to be in straight alignment would be to pay 20 to 25% down on an investment property.
All right. Leslie wants to know, will student loans prevent the purchase of a multifamily home?
Student loans affect your DTI, which is your debt to income ratio. So that's your debt, your monthly debt divided by your monthly income. And that ratio has to be within certain percentage guidelines. It varies by bank. It's typically between 38 and 45%. So if your debt to income ratio is above that, then it'll be hard to get finance. Student loans, they typically calculate either your monthly payment that you're actually paying now, or if you have an outstanding balance and you're on deferment, they take 1%. So if you have $100,000 loans, they'll say they'll put 1,000 on the top line of your debt to income ratio, and they'll use that $1,000. So student loans do have an impact, but it all depends on how much student loans that you have at the moment in comparison to your actual income.
All right. Let's see here. So Tian Walker states that he or she is having trouble finding where to sign up. So I'm going to put that link in here again. As a matter of fact, I'm going to open an incognito window and maybe just quickly walk you guys through the sign-up process as well. So, all right, let me share my screen. All right, so the first thing is go to blackreigroup.com. From there, you can click on, well, there's an enrollment here. So the two options, so $2,499 one-time payment, or 12 payments for $299 a month, which is discounted down from the $499 a month option. Click the enroll in course button. Next, it's going to ask for your email address and your name. And then also it'll ask for your credit card information. So then after that, all you got to do is I agree to the terms of service and press enroll in course. And then you are officially enrolled in the course. And then you will be getting some email communication from Julian immediately. Is that correct, Julian?
Yes, correct.
All right, cool.
I want to clarify. I said 45% for the FHA debt to income ratio. It's actually, I meant to say 43%.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see here. All right. I'd like to congratulate John Ray, who just signed up a couple of minutes ago as well. And then I think that's enough questions for tonight. Mm-hmm. As a reminder, tomorrow.
Bryant Easy.
Oh, yes, Bryant. Yeah, Bryant. Congratulations to you as well. Regarding family. All right. So that's all we have time for tonight. As I mentioned, tomorrow we will be going over questions regarding the offer and regarding the program tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern time. So you will automatically be enrolled for that Zoom session if you guys have any questions because you're still on the fence and wanted to make your decision. Other than that, we'll see you soon. And I guess Julian and Boyce, you guys can close us out.
Julian, did you have something you want to say, Les?
Yeah, no, I'm just so grateful that you all here on a Saturday night. I said it before. A lot of people are spending money. There's a lot of people out there spending money and wasting money on this Saturday night. And here you are getting a wealth of information and learning how to invest your money. That just says a lot about who you are and what you truly want for yourself and your family. And I just want to say I appreciate you, whether you join or not. We're excited for you because it means that you're on the right path. The fact that you're here on a Saturday night, it just means that you're on the right path. If you want to accelerate that process, we would love to hold your hand and help you get across the finish line a lot faster, safer, and easier without making the mistakes, without bearing the risk. But if you're going to go at it alone or you're not ready for whatever reason, we totally understand. We're going to continue to show up for you, whether it's Dr. Watkins going live 5 times a day, whether it's me on my Instagram page. We're going to continue to show up for you until you are ready, because at some point we know that you need to have this asset within your family. So we just want to thank you all for being here. We appreciate you. We love you. And this is what wakes us up and keeps us going every single day, is showing up for you and being able to transform your lives and minds.
All right. And what I'll say is it was awesome seeing all you guys tonight. And I'll just sort of finish off with a quick real life story here. Back when I was in grad school, I didn't have a lot of friends. And in undergrad, I didn't have a lot of friends. It was a kind of a lonely process, and part of the reason I didn't have a ton of friends was because, I wanted to be somebody in this world, and I didn't have a lot of people around me that looked like me, who thought like me. I didn't want to just stay in college. I wanted to make straight A's. I didn't just want to finish school. I wanted to become successful. I didn't want to just get through the system and just survive and just make it and just fight through the struggle. I wanted to win. I wanted to be, I wanted to be on top, and I remember in undergrad, I did a lot of what you all are doing right now, and I got made fun of for it. What I did back then that you're doing right now is on a Saturday night, you did not see me out partying. You didn't see me out drinking. You didn't see me out thugging. You didn't see me out chilling. I was working. I was studying. I was learning. And I remember that, when I would talk to, my mother was my greatest cheerleader, like a lot of your mothers. And I remember my mother was telling me that this is the right way to approach life, because you make your investments now and you get the benefits later on in life. And that was actually, I didn't know this at the time, but that was when I was learning the most important rules of investing, how to invest when money is not involved. Most investments you make in your life have nothing to do with money. And so I remember just saying to somebody when they said, well, why do you study so hard? Why aren't you out having fun? Why you study on a Saturday night? And I said, well, because I want to spend a few years living like nobody else will, so I can spend the rest of my life living like nobody else can. And so what I'm here to do, just real quick before we head out, is I just want to be the person that confirms for you, the same way my mother confirmed for me and my father confirmed for me, that you're doing the right thing, that you're not doing the normal thing. You're not doing the average thing. You're not doing the usual thing. But those who do normal, average, usual stuff end up with normal, average, usual results. If you want something different, you must do something different. Michael Jordan became the greatest basketball player in history because he was on the practice court more than everybody else. So I encourage you to continue down that path. The fact that you're here means that you are different, and I want you to embrace that, and I want you to move forward with that boldly, with complete confidence. Do not question yourself at all. And what's going to happen is, as you move through the ocean and as you conquer things and you go against the wind and you achieve your goals, people are going to line up right behind you, and you'll naturally become a leader. Because think about this. Back 25 years ago, wasn't nobody trying to hang out with me. Back then, they didn't want me. Now I'm hot. They all on me. Like Mike Jones, seriously. Now I go to cities around the world and that I've never been to, and people walk up and want my autograph in cities that I've never. And a white man didn't give that to me. Didn't no corporation give that to me. Mainstream media didn't give that to me. Hollywood didn't give that to me. A record deal didn't give that to me. This gave that to me. So I want you to build this, and that's what's going to make you great. So go out here and be great. Whatever it is you choose, go out here and be great. And I'm rooting for you 100%. You can always come back here if you want an extra dose of motivation as you move forward. God bless everybody. I love all of you. And thanks a lot, Julie, man. This has been awesome.
Peace. Good night, everybody.